Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi out here, and it's Wednesday. So we're doing a Wow Wednesday. And because the Brandon Ingram trade happened in the middle of a bunch of games and previews and reactions, really didn't do a dedicated stream to the arrival of Brandon Ingram and the signing of his extension. So I wanted to take this week off with the All-Star break to really focus on this topic. A lot of Raptors content makers are talking about Brandon Ingram a lot right now. And well, I need to do my Brandon Ingram dedicated stream today. And it may be a little bit late to some of the other people, but we're going to do this right. And we're going to do a very Brandon Ingram centered, focused stream today. So we're talking Brandon Ingram today. We're going to talk about the future with him around and different things and the fit and all kinds of stuff. I have some stuff that I figured out about this whole situation with Brandon. And I kind of see the future right now, and I'm excited about it. So this is definitely the Brandon Ingram stream. This is in some ways the welcome to Toronto Brandon Ingram stream from the Raptor Freak channel. And also it is, let's talk about this situation, and we'll analyze the trade even better. And also talk about the fit with the team. And I'll talk about what I expect from Brandon and what he's probably going to be like for the Raptors when he is healthy and joins the rest of the team, and how it's all going to work. So I've thought very deeply on this since we acquired him and he signed the extension, and I can see how this is going to work. A lot of people may be like saying stupid shit. Like, all right, we've been very critical of one channel recently on YouTube here. And well, one of their main people was on King's show this week, and he was contradicting himself, and it was kind of annoying me. At one point, he said the Brandon Ingram trade is a really good trade. On paper, it looks it's a fantastic deal for what the Raptors sent to New Orleans to get Brandon Ingram. But then on the other side, he says this trade doesn't make any sense because how does he fit in with the team? You know what I don't get? When people make the arguments, there's like two arguments they make, and they both make it so you can't win. And this is when you know you're dealing with a very negative person. And in some ways, they're just not going to be able to see where the bright side might be. And I think that's who Beyond is at this point. What I'll say is all right, first of all, you say that the Raptors do not have enough talent to compete with Boston and other teams in the league. I totally disagree with you. And the reason why I'll say that is because the games we played Boston, we just barely lost to them by a last-second shot to Jason Tatum. And we did beat them the last time we played them, if you didn't notice. If you think that this team is not talented to compete with the top levels of the NBA with the roster that we have right now, you're an idiot, is what I'm going to say right now. Because this team hasn't even been fully healthy this year. And when they've been fully healthy at times, they have won. And also, adding a player like Brandon Ingram to the arsenal of players on the team is only going to make us even better. Because in some ways, yeah, he's a great offensive player. But you know what? He's an underrated defensive player also. And you're not giving him enough credit for that. And, dissing our team and saying our team isn't that good defensively, you're an idiot. Because we had the number one defense last month when we were on a winning streak. So pay closer attention, Beyond, you idiot. You are a dumbass, man. You're just talking out your ass to be negative no matter what. So your argument is the Raptors don't have enough talent to compete with the best teams in the league. I completely disagree with that. And they have shown it as they continue to get older and grow, that all these players are going to be able to do that. Then your other argument is that they have too much talent to figure out who's going to get the shots. Well, which one is it, you idiot? Is it that they have not enough talent to compete with the league, or they have too much talent to figure out who's going to have the ball? Oh, my gosh. Too much talent is a good thing. Trust me, we got a lot of different players. There are different eggs that can hatch into different players later on. 5 different rookies this year. We got Grady Dick. We got Jacoby Walter. We've got Jamal Shed. We got all these guys. They're coming up, and they're going to get better and better. That doesn't mean we're going to keep all of them. Tough decisions will be made down the road when we have to invest in them as they progress as players and get better. It's the same thing we had to do around the championship with the bench mob. The bench mob came up, and, well, they started getting paid. And, well, they started having to go to other places. So this is the thing that I don't get. Why is it okay for teams like the Celtics, the Lakers, the Bulls, and different teams, not the Bulls, bad example, to just have a glut of talent? Nobody's saying that the Knicks have too many mouths to feed. And, there's too many guys there. They don't have enough there's not enough balls for them. No, they just have an abundance of talent, and they go different ways on different nights for what they want to do on that certain night. Why are the Raptors not allowed to have a team like that? A lot of different weapons where they go through different ones and different nights, like Grady one night, Jacoby one night, Brandon one night, RJ one night. Why can't the Raptors have a glut of talent on their team? Is it just that we're the Raptors and we're not allowed? And the rules are that you got to be a team that just, you can't have too many players. They have to leave, like Tracy and Vince. Oh, you can't have that many talented players on that team, but also you can't be talented enough to compete with the rest of them. That's what you sound like, Beyond, with your dumbass shit on To The Point this week. Seriously, don't make no fucking sense. Either they're too talented to be on the same team, or they're not talented enough to compete with the rest of the league. I think you're wrong. And I think you're wrong on both points, which is the craziest thing, because they are talented enough to compete with the rest of the league, and they don't have too much talent because they need as much talent as possible that you can jam pack into the salary cap system of the new NBA so that you can compete with the rest of the league. Because in some ways, talent abundance is important with all the injuries that are happening in the league right now. People are going to be sitting out and not able to play sometimes. Well, you need the next man up. And if you don't have any talent to be next man up, well, you may not be able to fill that hole, the void that the person that is out right now. So, yeah, you're wrong, bro. Wrong in all kinds of ways. And it sucked because I like watching To The Point. And Brian was standing up against you a couple of times. He said some of the right things, like you're stank nation. You're worried about lottery balls. I trust him aside. I don't give a shit about lottery balls. They could pick number 9, and I would be happy. Some of y'all be upset if they don't pick in the top 5 and think it's a failure. Well, you guys have failure mentality, thinking that we need to lose the rest of the season out. Our schedule's too easy. We need to win. We need to try and win naturally. And if we're pulling punches on purpose to try and manipulate the draft balls, that's the decision of the organization, not y'all's, fans. I'm sorry. That's not y'all's. And I'll trust whatever they decide. If we decide we want to win out and try and win as many and maybe even possible make the play in, I know there's going to be all butthurt, dumbass, stank nation Raptors fans. They're going to be, oh, Cooper Flag, why are we winning right now? I don't want to hear this shit. Seriously. So people, let Darko coach this team to win, and whatever he can do to win, if he's going to win, he's going to win. But otherwise, just be a fan. Enjoy. You guys care too much about dumb shit, and you should just enjoy the Raptors and let the Raptors do what they're going to do on the court. This is what I've been saying all year. Everybody's so worried about whether they're winning or losing. They win, they get mad. They lose, they get mad. So why can't you just be happy whether they win or they lose, like I am at this point? If they win, I'm overjoyed because I'm a Raptors fan. I love seeing my team win. Why does some of y'all get so upset when you see the Raptors win? You're not Raptors fans. And then I'm okay with they lose right now too, because I can see the bright side of losing in this season right now. And some people's like, oh, well, if we're going to be really bad, we have to be the best at being bad. Fuck that. I don't want to go below the Wizards. That's stupid, man. No reason to try and shallow down underneath the Wizards, man. That's ridiculous. Now, we see some crazy-ass injury list when we're going to play the Wizards later this year. And in some ways, somehow, the Wizards beat us a couple of these games going out. Well, that was the design. That was the design. And I won't question it because I trust my president, Masai Ujiri, and my GM, Bobby Webster. And that's what a lot more Raptors fans need to do. Y'all don't know more than them. Y'all don't know more than them. They know more about these draft picks than you guys do. They understand which ones are the good ones. They may be even trying to figure it out analytically in the top 10. They are. You know, I would like them to just kind of go ahead and get number 7 or number 8 and pick Malak. That's what I want, y'all. That's what I would have. My dream draft for this year has nothing to do with Cooper Flag, nothing to do with this. It has to do with Malak, Common Malak. And I'd like to see them get around 6, 7, or 8. And get that pick there. And that's right around where they are right now, naturally, anyway. And it may naturally end up that they do end up in that spot, and they pick Common Malak of Duke. Just add another Duke to the team. Just along with RJ and Brandon, more Duke players on the team. That's what I'd like them to do. Now, beyond on To The Point saying, well, you got to get the top players because they're generational. And if they come in, if Cooper Flag comes in on our team, well, you're making room for him, and he's the number 1 guy now. What? What the fuck is this stupid shit? Where do you get this? You didn't hear the memo that this guy might be Keith Van Horn? Seriously? I'm not moving mountains for Cooper Flag if he gets drafted to the Raptors. This is Scotty's team, motherfucker. And before that, even RJ and Brandon are getting more, and even Grady. I'm going to put these guys all ahead of Cooper because Cooper ain't nothing. He ain't proved nothing in the NBA level. And I ain't doing this. Y'all talked all this trash about Reed Shepherd last year, and I seen the reality of little old Reed Shepherd. He ain't jack shit. So I ain't gonna listen to this hype before any of these guys come up and do this. I don't care what they did in university because it matters what they do in the NBA. And until anything's proven there, I don't know. Cooper Flag could be one of the biggest busts in NBA history. And you're talking about, oh, we got to bend back over backwards to make him fit if we're able to get the first pick and put him in and give him all priority. Fuck that. It's Scott's team. And there's no way that any one of these draft picks this year is coming in and superseding the franchise face, Scotty Wayne Barnes, let alone Brandon Ingram, RJ Barrett, or Emmanuel Quickley. We've got our top stars on our team. And anybody who thinks we need to slum this year in our record just to pick up Cooper Flag to add another star, no. You're an idiot. You are an idiot. And I'm going to say it over and over again. We're going to get a good draft pick. The draft's good to 10. And I'd rather be in the bottom 5 of the top 10 than the top 5. I'm telling you right now, there's some things about those players that are getting overhyped. And everybody, you got to understand, once some people start talking, what happened with Victor Wembanyama a couple years ago, it gets out of control and it becomes bigger than what it is. Well, he was big enough to be bigger than what it is at 7'5", and he's the real deal Holyfield. But with Scoot Henderson, no. They overhyped the hell out of him. And that's what I'm saying. Every year in the draft, y'all overhype these players and make them bigger than they actually are. And Cooper Flag is the latest one. He's the latest one. And I don't want y'all to buy into fool's gold. And just be happy with what we got right now. If we get Malak, we're good, y'all. Trust me on this. Because we don't need a guard. We don't need a wing. We need a center. We need a power forward. We need a Malak. And when we get him in the first round, which I hopefully do, we do this, Bobby and Masai, I'll be so happy. And the Raptor Freak will be like, yeah, we're building the front line because we need more rebounding and defense and rim protection. We will get that with Malak. So that's on there. All right, we're not even talking about Brandon Ingram at this point. But yeah, I just want to go on my little intro rant. Welcome to the Raptor Freak stream. We've got the classic card. We've got the Instagram stories. We got all kinds of fun on the channel. Let's see where you guys take me with your comments today. We'll start with Trevor J. He's here with the Commissioner Fun, Trevor J, with his words of wisdom to start the stream. Stop being afraid of what could go wrong and start being excited about what could go right. Most people don't hate you. They hate themselves for not having the courage to do what you're doing. Wow. That's deep, man. That's deep. You know, this kind of goes along with what I'm saying right now. It's like, stop worrying about what could go wrong with Brandon Ingram. And let's start worrying about what could go right. Because I'm going to tell you guys this right now. You know, some people are saying, well, what does Brandon do with fitting with everybody else? How is he going to fit in with Scotty and RJ? Is he going to take shots away from RJ? Is he going to hurt the development of Jacoby and Grady? All right, this is what I'm going to tell everybody. I'm going to give them a reality check about who Brandon Ingram is right now, because I don't think y'all understand who he is. I don't think you do. He's a young man from North Carolina that was mentored by Jerry Stackhouse very, very young. His father used to play pickleball with Jerry, and that's how he met him. He's a family friend. And while Jerry was there from the very beginning, and he instilled certain beliefs in basketball and how it's supposed to play. See, Jerry Stackhouse is from an old school mentality of the old NBA that is lacking in today's NBA players. And he, as the coach of the Raptors 905, won a championship. And he coached that team right on the right principles of team. You don't think that Brandon Ingram understands how to play team ball from a great mentor of Jerry Stackhouse and his great coaches that he's had over his career, like Coach K and Duke? I mean, this is stupid. You know, in some ways, Brandon is an extremely gifted, athletic person that can put the ball on the hoop. He has put so much work and time in the court. You know, some people may think he's aloof. Some people may think he's an enigma, a little bit of a mystery, because he's quiet. He's soft-spoken. And in some ways, he's missed a lot of games in New Orleans, but I don't think that's his fault. We found out in his interviews coming in that he's a gym rat, and he can't stay out of the gym. He's constantly putting up shots to the detriment of his own body's health. In fact, one of the problems Brandon is blamed for his injuries is that he doesn't know when to stop. He'll go in there and he'll work out and shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot stuff out. So the Raptors organization, Dr. McKechnie and Masai and Bobby and Darko, need to work with him on how to take care of his body with rest and actually get him to chill out and just rest. I think half of his injuries in his career are because he overworks himself. So if we can instill a balance with him where he can be a little bit better and have our better sports science with the best sports science team in the NBA right now, led by Dr. Alex, he's going to have better health outcomes in the future coming up. And other things is like people would talk, what is his motivation? He just got paid and stuff like that. Well, do you think this young man wants to waste his prime of his career and mess around with it? No, no. You got to understand, Bobby and Masai know the profile, the mindset that they're finding in different characteristics in different players right now. And that student of the game, respects the game, works hard, and wants to get better. And we're not messing around with anybody coming here if they don't fit that profile. And Brandon Ingram fits it. I wasn't sure when we first did the deal, but I've dug deep and looked at him very closely, and this dude does. He fits it just like Scotty, RJ, Emmanuel, Grady, Jacoby, all of them. So this is the thing. Why would he mess around with his own life and his own career and want to sit on the bench with the Raptors just to collect millions of dollars and not do no work? No, that's not him. He wants to prove something in this league. He wants to be an all-star again. He wants to win in the playoffs. He wants to win a championship. So why wouldn't he do what it takes to do that? He's shown that he could do anything in this league as a scorer and getting the ball all the time. But does that mean he needs the ball all the time on the Raptors? No, it doesn't. And do you think that he has an ego that's going to come into this team and demand the ball from the rest of the players? No, he doesn't. In fact, he is unselfish down low, just like Scotty. And that's the thing. People realize real soon when Brandon comes to the Raptors and plays for us on the court, it's not going to be the exact same Brandon Ingram that played for the Lakers and the Pelicans. This is going to be a more well-rounded Brandon Ingram. This is going to be a Brandon Ingram that's going to expend a lot of more energy on the defensive end than ever in his career. This is a Brandon Ingram that may see his points per game lowered because he's sacrificing for the team and playing the team passing scenario that Darko has implemented in our offensive system. He's a team player. He's a student of the game. And in fact, in his first couple of interviews and talking to Darko, he bought into what his philosophies were and what he's trying to build here. He likes it, honestly. He was impressed, is what he said. He said he was impressed when he first sat down with Coach Rajakovic and he explained to him what we're doing up here in Toronto. Do you think he wants to come in here and cause waves and mess it up? No. He wants to fit in. He's going to come in. He's going to do the parts that fit, just like RJ's fitting in. You see how RJ's playing? Well, you know what? Brandon could be similar. Seriously, he could be very bullish on scoring and aggressive and helping us score baskets when we need them, but he doesn't have to do that the whole 48 minutes of the game. In fact, he may be doing more defensive stuff at times in games. He has a very long wingspan, and he can block shots. That's something on the down low people aren't talking about Brandon Ingram right now, that he has extremely long arms, and he has been a good shot blocker his NBA career so far. So I don't get this. What are people worried about fitting in on our team and our offense and how many shots everybody's going to get? Because you know what? Brandon's a team player, and Brandon's a student of the game. And Brandon likes the teacher named Rajakovic and what he's teaching in his lessons. And he's going to want to execute it to us. Saying, what do these Raptors say? I do what coach says. I'm going to go out there and execute what coach says he wants me to do. There's no rogues here. There's no egos as far as like I'm on this team on the Raptors and it's my show and I'm going to do whatever the hell I want and I'm just going to score and I'm going to disregard the coach. What did Brandon Ingram say when he came to our team? He said, this is great. I love this team. I see the guys work hard and they listen to their coach. So it's like, what? He's noticing all the rookies listen to coach. Sky's listen to coach. Chris Boucher, Jakob Poeltl, Garrett Temple, they listen to coach. Well, he's going to show up and not listen to coach? No, he's going to listen to coach because he bought in. He sees what we're doing here, and he knows enough about basketball to understand that Darko's system and plan and what the Raptors are doing as an organization is going to work. And he's excited. Why would he want a sideline on this? He should be licking his chops, thinking about, I get to play with these young guys that are coming up. They're going to get better and better. And as they get better, as I get better, as Scotty gets better, as RJ gets better, we will go higher and higher in the standings and higher and further in the playoffs. I mean, what's not to like? Why can't some people see this? Beyond, can't you see the possible growth with our rookie class this year? The possible growth of Grady Dick, the possible growth of Emmanuel Quigley and RJ Barrett at the stage of where they're at in their careers and how old they are? I mean, hello, dummy. Can't we see that players get better as young players to elevate their games? And that's how the team comes up. It doesn't have nothing to do with transactions. It doesn't have anything to do with a big home run, big deal. Like, oh, I'm going to do this and this happens this. Yeah, it don't make no sense. And then also beyond, keeps harping on this quote that Masai made at the beginning of the year. Well, listen, you interpret that quote your own way. I interpret it a totally different way than you. And he's still doing what he said he was going to do. That's one of your biggest gripes against Masai. You're saying he's not sticking to what he said in the first press conference. Motherfucker, you don't say what he said in the press conference and determine it. What he said to me sounds like what he's doing right now. It's not on the proper timeline for you, is what it is. Some people like it nice and tidy. Things are complete in a season. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, the Raptors are half seasons right now. Yeah, they're half seasons. You can't go by the full season. The rebuild started last year when we traded Anunoby, and the rebuild ended when we traded to get Brandon Ingram. So that's the thing. That rebuild year was half of last year and half of this year. And that's making everybody's heads explode because that doesn't make any sense. Why would they do the rebuild half on this year and half on that year? Because opportunists strike when the iron's hot. And Brandon Ingram was made available, and the Raptors went and got him when they could get him. The timing of it is when the timing is. And that's perfect, and it's what it is. And Masai's not lying. Masai said he was going to do this. That's his finishing move. That's the Kawhi move. Yeah, he did it early. He got that Brandon Ingram on our team, that's ultra-talented player that is going to add to the mix. He had to strike when he could. And that was that moment around the trade deadline when he was freed up, and that's when you got to go, you got to go. So anybody's problem with the timing of it? No, you jump on that train when you can get in that train when it's coming in the station. And that's all this is. I don't get this. I don't understand why y'all got to make it so much more complicated, critics, in your heads, what is going on here? Because it's easy to see. Maybe if you just look at it and just looked at it with plain eyes, with none of your negative slants and little dark-colored glasses that make you see everything so dismally, maybe you just see it for what it is. And it's a good move, a good thing, and a good future coming up for the Raptors. And the problem right now is that y'all can't prognosticate your chicken little bullshit and make gaslight the Raptors fans too hard on this because everything looks good from this. And y'all are still trying to. Your gaslighting is, well, how's this going to work? How's this going to fit? It's bullshit. It's all bullshit. You talk out of your ass when you say shit like that. And it's just through those dismal gray colored glasses. Well, I'll put on the rose colored glasses, the purple colored glasses, and I will see the truth that Brandon Ingram's going to join this team. He's going to be a huge addition. He's going to be healthier than he's ever been in his career. And the Raptors are going to get closer and closer to the second Larry O'Brien for the championship because of what Masai and Bobby are doing right now with their roster and what Darko is creating with his offensive system and his coaching. So, yeah, I don't know what people need to find out. You can come talk to me. I'll give you all the answers because I can see it clear as day. Brandon Ingram is a bird of a feather that flocks together with the same kind of basketball genius mentality and hard worker and student of the game as his teammates that he just joined the team of. Sure, maybe down in New Orleans or knuckleheads, guys that weren't really thinking deeply about basketball on a deep level. But no, we're the AP class in the high school of the NBA, and he just got sent to AP class where he was supposed to be all along instead of dealing with knuckleheads that are just wasting their NBA careers like Zion Williamson. So that's what I'll say about that right there. Yeah, there you go. There's my retort to Beyond's appearance on Brian's show. Brian, you were awesome. Thank you, King, for doing a great job. And you know what? You were saying it exactly right. Thank you for being anti-Tank Nation and not about, we're in about ping pong balls. I mean, seriously, this is silly. Leo Routens, look what you've caused, man. All right, let me keep going. Trevor's saying Black History moment. Nate Sweetwater Clifton becomes the first Black basketball player to sign an NBA contract in 1950. That's awesome. That's amazing. Of course, that's a very historic moment. They have a documentary that's out on his story. It's a movie you can watch. I know that came out in the last couple of years called Sweetwater, and I highly recommend it. I have never watched it myself, but it is an important story. I am familiar with the story. Of course, when Clifton came into the league, it opened the door for people like Bill Russell. And what did Bill Russell came in shortly after him and dominated the league right afterwards and pretty much dominated the NBA for the whole decade of the 1960s and was the best player in the league, one of the very earliest African-American players in the NBA. This is a great month to remember the great, rich heritage and history of African-Americans, African Canadians, and just Black people in general, Black Heritage Month. I love this, Trevor. I love this. If you want to do more of these little history moments for the whole month, I would totally welcome them. And yeah, let's honor Nate Sweetwater Clifton today. the first ever African American player in the NBA, and his trailblazing ways, just like Jackie Robinson. That's right. That's right. There you go. There you go. Trevor J saying SGA will be his own agent moving forward for all on-court decisions. On-court decisions, off-court decisions. It sounds like he fired his agency. He is his own agent at this point. He's a smart guy. You know, maybe there's some things he's got to be a little nuanced on. Maybe he has a helper still, but he's represent himself and speak for himself in meetings now. You know, there's some confusion about Brandon Ingram. I know y'all said that he's clutch, but on his Wikipedia, it says he's Excel, guys. It doesn't say that he's clutch. It may be that he changed and Wikipedia just needs to be updated. But on his Wikipedia, it actually says he's Excel. You know, Brandon is a very big fisherman. One of his favorite things to do when he was a kid was he loved to fish with his grandfather. Yeah, there's a lot of different things I've learned about Brandon recently. And he's taking on more and more connection with his teammates. In fact, let's go look at the Instagram stories right now because it's on there this morning. So first of all, we got Scotty. He's at a beach, a beautiful, beautiful sunny beach. There's no snow anywhere. And I know it's not cold. Beautiful, beautiful sky. Maybe he heard me talking about Emmanuel's picture of the sky, or he saw Emmanuel's picture on his Instagram. Well, he wanted to do one himself. And it's beautiful, crazy, nice clouds in the sky. And he's got the sun in the picture too. So wherever Scott is, it's beautiful, relaxing. And this is where I want my Raptors team to be, is somewhere very, very comfortable, getting a lot of healing and rest and feeling re-energized to come back and play the Miami Heat on Friday night at Caribbean night at the Scotiabank Arena. Yeah, you guys come back and be ready. I know that it's this kind of thing where you got to start up back up and get into things and get back into the energy of playing in the NBA schedule. But man, I'm glad you guys are all recharging and you're in awesome places where you can absolutely relax and chill and just take it easy. That's what the All-Star break is for. Recuperate your body, get better, get your mind straight, get your place set back where you want to be. Scotty showing us more images of the place where he is. It's very lush. And there's some birds in the that looks like cranes just sitting in the bushes. Are those alive? They're not moving. Okay, they're not real. They're not real. They ran off from Scott coming up on them like that. A big, huge 6'10" guy coming up like that. Yeah, they would run away from you, Scott. But look at those palm trees, the icy blue water, clear blue water. Yeah, Scotty's somewhere very, very nice right now. It kind of looks like the place where Siakam was last year is where it looks like. Grady Dick showing himself on the runway wearing his fit. On his Instagram. Let's see who else we got. We got Garrett Temple, who's doing more political stuff. Holy crap. Garrett is going full in on what Congress is doing and stuff like that, and the presidency and stuff like that. It's a really scary time in the United States. People getting let go from federal jobs. And they're kind of important jobs that oversee the society for protecting the public and consumers and other people like that. But they don't care. They need those people out of the way so they can rob the country. And that's why they're getting them all fired, so they can just rob everybody blind, Donald Trump. And that's what's going on there. Wubbs has got a picture of some guys playing for Oklahoma. Jacob Cole. I'm not sure who that is. I guess it's just a friend of Jacoby's. And there he is, the funny picture of him with Jamal Shed. They got like suspicious looks on their face. It's kind of like where Larry David does his little look over the person like, okay. Yeah, it looks like they're doing that. Siakam he's talking about PS43 Foundation and what it does and stuff like that. So check out PS43 Foundation, always doing good stuff. And there's the video montage of his All-Star weekend. Good editing. There's with Christian, Boris, and Reza. Awesome stuff from Siakam around the All-Star weekend. Jamal Shed showing a picture of his family and everybody. That's cool, man. I love to see the throwback pictures. I'm sure little Jamal's in this picture. Very, very cute picture there. Jamal Shed on your Instagram. There's the mean mugging on Jonathan Bobo's of Shed and Walter, his teammates. We're showing a lot of solidarity between the rookies and different people right now. And the Instagram posts, people resharing each other's posts and just calling each other's brother. You're my brother and all this kind of stuff. It's really good. The solidarity on the team is really strong right now between the barbecue and the rookie class and everybody else. It's really, really good. Norman Powell is at a beach still also. It looks really good. Brandon Ingram reposting Jamal Shed's post because he posted Brandon in it. And, of course, we found out that Brandon Ingram's a huge SpongeBob fan. He loves a picture of him on the bus, the SpongeBob hoodie on, and his phone. He's holding it up, and we see on Brandon's phone stickers. There's a sticker of Barack Obama, and there's a sticker of Bernie Sanders with his mask and his little pose on that chair from that iconic picture of Bernie wearing the mask, sitting in the chair. You know, that is awesome. I love that Brandon is showing that he's politically knowledgeable, that he has two great politicians on his phone, Obama and Bernie Sanders. So, hey, I hope he's a burner. Maybe he's a Bernie guy, just like me. And hey, Brandon, if you're a Bernie Sanders guy, you are the right kind of guy, man. You're awesome. AJ Lawson's got a picture of his dogs. He's back in Toronto, and there's his two French bulldogs, and they're playing in the little dog bed. Yeah, cute dogs. Really nice looking dogs there, AJ. Really, really nice. There's SGA now representing himself, and he's out there with the ice on his hands and the ice around his neck. And he opened up an SGA store, and he was there in a big crowd. It looks like there was a DJ and some artwork, and they were printing, making out clothes while they were there, printing and making clothes. Good stuff. There you go. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, you keep going, man. You're awesome, bro. We love you, man. Let's see what else we got. Let's see. Slim Duck's got the kid who's a Ravens fan is saying when God reveals his plan, and then me after everything starts to make sense. Yeah, Chris is funny. Hope you're doing good, Chris Boucher. He said, I hate going to parties, and as soon as they walk in the door, they're dancing like Steph Curry at All-Star. Also, Chris is making note that ASAP Rocky has been found not guilty in his gun assault trial. So that's on his there. Toronto Tempo president Teresa Resch is giving us a factoid this morning. Did you know only 26% of coaches at the college and university level in Canada are women, with a far smaller percentage being Black women? So also in the next frame, they're saying we are creating awareness around this gap and supporting change by elevating trailblazing coaches across Canada. Yeah, this is awesome. In some ways, like, inclusion and equality is more and more important now that people are coming for it in down south in really ugly, crazy, fascist ways. That, it's important to still carve out those spaces and strive for this in defiance of really ugly people being really, really sick individuals, as far as they don't believe in equality. They don't believe in people should be treated equally. They want just rich white men to be treated above everybody else. And that's basically what's going on in the States. If you don't believe it, well, don't vote for PC, because they're the party up here that's like that. So you just don't want that. You want diversity, you want inclusion, you want equality for all people, women, all people from all backgrounds. Well, you better keep voting left, because the right wing is going to try and crush any kind of diversity in this world more and more in their really sick, cruel ways. Just so y'all know, we got to fight the far right very, very strongly right now. And if conservatives, you may need to come over to our side for a little bit. And then when we're done getting rid of the Nazis, we can go back in right versus left. But until then, y'all need to come and help us, because if you like a free and just society, which you should, because that's what a normal human being, you guys can't like some of this stuff that's going on too. So you need to just go ahead and come to our side for a little bit to fight the really bad entity that's starting right now. Seriously, if you don't, well, you may be lumped with the other side. People ask, what did you do when the Nazis tried to take over Germany? Well, I just sat by and watched them do it. Well, you're part of the problem. You got to fight them. So join the side that's right. You know which side is right deep in your heart. And even if it's hard for you to vote for a party other than the PC government, you need to do that here in Canada right now. I'm warning you right now. You cannot buy Doug Ford's bullshit, and you cannot definitely vote for Pierre Poilievre. Just trust me on this. Seriously. Really, really trust me on this. Understand this. Yeah, okay. Dylan Dissu got some flowers for Valentine's Day. Pretty cool. Kyle Kuzma's getting married, apparently. And Broke Baby Stunna is congratulating him. That's Eugene Omoruyi, former teammate of Kyle Kuzma on the Wizards. And there's a picture there. Congrats, brother. It looks like Kuzma's gotten engaged to his girlfriend. She's a model. So, yeah, Kyle Kuzma's getting married, y'all, according to Eugene Omoruyi. And there's him in the back singing some songs, wearing his chain. Brook, baby, let's do real good in the G League, and maybe you get called back up, and you get some NBA action with the Raptors. That's what we want to see. Let's see. Toronto Tempo has the same stat that was on Teresa's count. And also there's some Sephora Toronto Tempo boxes going out to different people around the city. The swag is heavy with the Toronto Tempo already. All kinds of items all over the place. Really, really cool. And there's Jamal McGlure. He's got a picture of Masai at Giants of Africa over there teaching the youth at Giants of Africa events. There you go. There's your Instagram stories for today. Yeah, I love seeing Jamal posting a picture of Brandon Ingram in the bus wearing the SpongeBob hoodie, and then Brandon Ingram reposting Jamal's shed. This is something that's really important to Ingram is connection with his teammates. You can see how much the Pelicans players love him and they miss him already since he got traded to our team. Well, hopefully he's going to develop very, very deep, strong bonds with all the young Raptors, and he'll have that same kind of brotherhood and feeling on our team that he did with the Pelicans. I think it's already happening. Like I said, birds of a feather flock together, and people will respect people's respect for the game. Some people don't respect the game. They don't get as much respect in the locker room. But if people respect the game and they respect the work that goes into being a top-notch NBA player, well, there's respect all around. And I think that that's what we're going to see here. I think that's what we're going to see here. We can talk even more detailed, in depth about the way that Brandon Ingram may fit with this team on offense and defense, what kind of stuff we can expect from him. And I think that, one of the really cool things about the situation, and this is something why they probably won't talk about his addition in some ways and like want to talk too much about it because they're scared of it on the download. Trust me, is that we now have three guys on our team that can average 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. And that's Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett, and Brandon Ingram. And, honestly, Emmanuel could do it too. If he really wanted to get his rebounds up, he could probably do it too. But those 3 guys could easily do this, and even at the same time on the team. People would be like, what? That's crazy. You're going to get 60 points, 15 rebounds, and 15 assists from those 3 guys night in, night out? Why not? Why not? You could do it. You could do it. I could see them doing it. There's enough for all the mouths to feed. And, seriously, those guys are that kind of caliber of players where they're capable of getting 25 to 30 points a game, but also get 10 rebounds or also get like a 5+ assists every single game. That's the great thing. It's the assists that are the part that is going to tell everybody why it's going to fit. Because on the download, Brandon's always been an unselfish player. Everybody can say, well, you see him get 40 against the Raptors, so he scores a lot. Everybody just assumes, well, he scores a lot. He must be selfish. No, that's not what it is. If you saw and you watch closely, which a lot of people didn't watch Pelicans closely last couple of years, he's very much a passer, and he does look for other people and gets them involved. He's been on a team with Zion for a couple of years now. And in some ways, passing it to Zion has been a big part of what he's had to do in that offense with the Pelicans. So anybody's worried about him being a ball hog or him taking too many shots away from other guys, no, he's going to be in the mix and he's going to help the other guys because he's a big, huge threat. And the other team's defenses will have to take him seriously. And he's also a very good passer. So what happens? They collapse on Brandon. He throws it across court to RJ, and he hits a 3. So, everybody can start writing all the scripts for how the Raptors are going to have problems with Brandon Ingram here, but I don't see them. I see all the scripts that say this is how it's going to work. And it's all mindset. You want to have a negative mindset? Well, you'll see all the bad stuff, like the person I was lambasting earlier. But you know what? If you really look at it clear-eyed, you will see what I'm seeing. And you'll understand. It's like, look, Brandon wants to win. And he understands the hierarchy. Coach is coach. And if coach is telling him his duty for this is this, well, he's going to execute to his best ability. But the great thing is Darko, he likes to make his players superheroes. He likes to really lean into their really big strengths and let them be themselves. So Brandon's going to be himself, but it will fit in to the scheme of what Darko's trying to do. And he will not be an aberration that's going to mess up that system. Trust me, guys. He's going to fit right in. And it may be a different look on different nights. That's why Raptors fans need to stop having expectations. When you have expectations for Scott that he has to get this many points or RJ has to do this or Emmanuel has to do this, you'll always be let down. And what happens when you have an abundantly talented team with a lot of different weapons, well, it could come from all kinds of different directions. Who's going to be big that night? On one night, somebody may be getting the chain like Brandon. One night, Emmanuel may be getting the chain. And it's just different nights, different people. It may be the matchup. It may be who's feeling real good with their biometrics that day as far as their body is just really feeling good and they're in the zone. There's all kinds of different factors. But when you have a lot of different options to be that talented to score and carry the team, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing because you have those options. And those options actually increase and help each other because they're all threats and they all have to be accounted for. Scotty Barnes makes Brandon Ingram better. Brandon Ingram makes Emmanuel Quickley better. Emmanuel Quickley makes RJ better. RJ makes Scott better. That's just how it is, guys. It's just how it is. You can be naysayers and start doom talking about the Brandon Ingram trade and what it's going to mean for the Raptors. But honestly, I see all sunshine and skies ahead because the dude is bought in. And the real big symbol, once again, I'll say this, Bobby's not an idiot. He's not going to be signing an extension with a guy who doesn't fit. And even though he hasn't played on the court with them, he fits, trust me, because he fits mentally, he fits philosophically, and he will fit physically on the court with them too. Seriously, he's a ball player. Ball players want to play. He can be added to this team, and he can play with us. I don't understand why people give special rules to the Toronto Raptors franchise out of all the NBA teams. They say, well, that's too much talent for them, or that's just not good enough. You know, they're always going to say that kind of bullshit like Beyond did, because they always have said this since the franchise started. It's the same tired shit I've heard over and over again every decade of the 30 years. So I'll say this. You know what? So many mouths to feed. Some nights, not every mouth needs to feed, and we'll be fine as long as everybody's on the same page and they're going for this, because it's a team sport, and we got a team of team players and not a team of individual players, and that's going to be the big difference right there. That's right. There you go. Trevor J. saying Reggie Miller named the lead analyst for NBC's NBA coverage next season. This is fantastic. This is perfect. Some people don't like Reggie. In some ways, Reggie is his generation's Bill Walton. I get it. He's a little annoying. Sometimes he has really bad takes, but I love Reggie. I honestly do. 31 for Indiana was an icon to me, and I enjoyed watching him battle Jordan and all those other teams around the 90s and into the 2000s. Reggie Miller is an icon and one of the greatest players to ever play in the NBA, and he knows what he's talking about. And he has a special connection to NBC because he was such a featured star for them. In fact, in some ways, they really built up Reggie on NBC, just like Michael. You know, back in the day, you could see like they really did a good job of marketing the Pacers and making them a bigger team than they are now because of Reggie's presence. It was like Reggie Miller and the Pacers versus Michael Jordan, the Chicago Bulls, 1 p.m. Sunday. You know, that feeling. Reggie's just synonymous with the NBA on NBC brand. And it just makes sense that he would be the lead announcer for them taking over and the contract for TV coming back. I'm really happy NBC's back. I hate NBC because they fired Conan and gave him Jay Leno's seat, and I've actually boycotted them. But in some ways, the NBA product has been so poorly treated by the broadcasters since NBC left. TNT is the only exception. ABC, ESPN's been a horrible coverage of the NBA. And I'm glad NBC is back in it because they do it right. In some ways, they ain't be able to do the throwback sounds like the John Tesh theme and the old graphics and all that. It gets nostalgia, and maybe they bring back some of that old feeling and credibility that we lost from this jackass generation of Draymond Green and LeBron James and what they did to the NBA. And maybe we can recapture some of the great glory days from that theme and the feeling that we used to have from watching 90s NBA basketball. I love it. Reggie's a good part to be there. In some ways, he's going to piss people off. He's going to say stupid shit. And I know, and I'm not going to agree with Reggie every time, but he's still the guy for this job. I believe that myself. Some people probably hate this decision. Some people do. Monique's here. Superfan Monique in the house. What's up, Superfan Mo? Good morning, Raptor Freak crew. The excitement around Brandon Ingram is incredible. I mean, it's enticing. It's amazing. You know, every 2 weeks, going to check with him, and then going to decide whether he's ready to play. You know what? I'd like to see him come back. A lot of people are saying they don't want to see him for the rest of the season. Why? What's wrong with him coming back and playing games? Seriously, this is so stupid. Who the hell likes to pull punches in a fight? You want to go all out. And I'm telling you, man, if that man is healthy and ready to play, let him play. And don't be doing no load management and stuff like that unless you need to because of his injury. I'm telling you right now, Brandon Ingram needs to play this year. He needs to get more familiar and orientated with his teammates on the court, get to work with it now. It'll help us to get out the gates next year even better. And I'm not trying to tank out. Y'all are idiots that want to tank out. No, we ain't pulling punches like the Sixers franchise. That is why you get to be a loser team like they are this year. Still, after all the great things they've done with their moves and their trades and getting good players, they're still a loser mentality team. Why? Because they instilled a loser mentality into that team when Joel showed up with their process and they're tanking on purpose. And that's why I tell Raptors fans, you think you want to tank on purpose? We become the Sixers, a loser franchise that can't get anything done right anymore. even when they get everything handed to them and they have supremely good players, it's still a disaster because the mindset that was built there 10 years ago was to lose on purpose. And that's why I will never, ever stand with Tank Nation and their stupid ass shit of wanting to get more ping pong balls. No, you play all out and you play correctly to the fullest of your potential and your energy to try and win. And that's what the Raptors got to do. You practice like half-ass, well, you play half-ass when it matters later, just like the Sixers. And we can't do that. We got to go all out, and we got to practice all out for Coach Darko, so it's better for the future. That's just how it is right there. That's what I got to say about that. Good to see you, Mo. James is saying Ingram could be an all-star next season. East is weak compared to the West. This is another thing that is a really good point, and good to see James this morning. The Eastern Conference is not as good as the West, and the records show. There's very few teams in the Eastern Conference that are above 500. So in some ways, it's a cakewalk. It's not a cakewalk, but there's a path for the Raptors to extend into the Eastern Conference top. Because honestly, most of the Eastern Conference is mid and not very good. I would say Cleveland is a badass team, one of the top 3 teams in the league. Boston is the returning champions, and in some ways they should be very seriously looked at. But after that, maybe New York. Everybody else is not really, there's some spots up there in the playoff spots that are to come and take for a team that just excels and progresses like the Raptors could next year. So, yeah, I love it. I don't know about him getting all-star next year. In some ways, he's going to have to orientate himself as far as being on the Raptors and showing everybody, hey, I'm on the Raptors now. It could very well be Scotty's getting the all-star for the Raptors next year. But if we do well enough the year after that, we're in the certain place in the standings, we could have 2 all-stars the next year. The other thing that we need to talk about real quick is there's a lot more buzz about doing the World versus USA for the all-star format. If we do this is actually a very good hidden benefit for our guy, Roy Barrett Jr., because he's more likely to make the all-star team as a world superstar. In some ways, RJ has a better path to make the all-star game if they do decide to do the USA versus world format. Think about it. Because some people are saying, they're joking about this. Oh, that won't be any good. The Americans are arrogant. They're saying that won't be any good to have USA versus the world because there'll be like 6 good world players and then Bogan Bogdanovic will be on the bench. No, bullshit. No. Y'all have ignored Jamal Murray and RJ Barrett. Those are real legit all-stars. And if they join the world team, they're legit all-stars. And you can flesh out a good team of world players. You can get a full all-star team, and they would be legit all-stars. So don't give me this crap. Americans that think that the world can't flesh out a whole entire all-star roster of all-star caliber players. You're told, some of the guys that have been overlooked, like Barrett and Murray, would finally get their just desserts and making the team, actually, is what would happen. So, yeah, I'm very excited about possibility of that because I do really want Emmanuel and RJ to get all-stars at some point. They are going to deserve it at some point. Watch. And Scotty, he could be deserving of an all-star every single year, honestly, if we're winning almost all the time. And where's Brandon figure in that too? If we're the top team in the East, like the Cavs, and having a record like them, like this year, maybe we do get 3 all-stars like them at some point. I'd love to see that. Good to see you, James. Reggie's saying, I'm still feeling sad about Vladdy, Lex. I'm just wondering why his team didn't extend negotiations to the end of the spring training. This is such a distraction now. Well, I'm not going to let it distract me, but I understand Blue Jays fans are distracted about it. Yeah, that's what you're saying. It was his side that set up this deadline, February 18th, not the Blue Jays. It's weird that for someone who has said he wants to stay and willing to do whatever it takes, what is really going on? To hear the front office, especially Mark Shapiro, speak yesterday was stark. He was referring to Vlad as the player. It sounds like this is the end. Well, we've got to understand there's 3 entities here, and they're not all necessarily the same. There's the Blue Jays, there's Vladimir himself, and then there's Vladimir's representation. And Vladimir's representation may be strong ball in the Blue Jays in certain ways to get to this point. It could very well be there was a price they wanted, and the Blue Jays wouldn't do it, and they said, well, you need to do it by the February 18th deadline. Who knows? I'm going to blame his reps. Seriously. If Vladdy's heart is want to stay there, and he's saying that, maybe it's lip service, maybe it isn't really true down low. Who knows? His reps could be like, no, listen, you need to maximize your earning potential in your short MLB career, and you need to swing for the fences, young man, just like you on the field for how much money you can get paid. I mean, there could be all kinds of different factors. It could very much be his management is greedy and they're strong arming the Blue Jays. And, Vladimir may be just caught in the middle. And he's kind of like, yeah, I don't totally feel comfortable with this management, but I'm going to go with you guys. I don't know. I can't tell for sure, but this is what this sounds like to me. It could very well be that Vladimir Guerrero's representation has been dealing with the front office of the Blue Jays, and they think they're idiots, and they've given up on trying to work with them because they are idiots. Let's just put it that way. Shapiro and Atkins need to be fired. They've done a horrible job for a long time. I was talking to Stevie Roots last night. He's saying, yeah, those guys are buddies from Cleveland, and they're birds of a feather, and they won't turn on each other. They're going to try and save each other from getting fired. No, they need to be cleared out. That's what I would say on this issue. Is that in some ways you could blame Vlad's reps, but we don't know how inept Atkins and Shapiro are in this whole situation also. I hate it too, but in some ways y'all got some time till spring training. Who knows? Maybe some cooler heads will prevail. Maybe Vladdy actually says to his reps and say, listen, I just want to stay in Toronto. Let's work with them still. Anything could happen still, because as you said, that was a innocuous deadline that was just set by their representation. Doesn't mean they can't tear it up and say, well, you know what? We are going to revisit with them. But you saying to the player, them saying, calling him the player, yeah, that's showing that in some ways the Blue Jays organization is not showing the proper respect to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to try and keep him. So, oh, man, I hate hearing all this. But you know what? Life goes on. And I know we all wanted Vladdy Jr. on our team, but you know what? Renewal and things changing. Well, sometimes who knows? Good things could happen. It may take a little while, though. It may take a little while. Yeah. Trevor's saying, nice interview by Alvin Williams on Ingram. He's a big fan of Ingram. I had not heard this interview. I'm going to have to find it. You're saying that Boogie Williams has an interview talking about Brandon Ingram? Very, very interesting. I'll have to see what Alvin had to say about him. That's what I'm saying. This kid is an aloof kid. In some ways, he's quiet. In some ways, he's been kind of overshadowed in the NBA world. But he's honestly one of the top best scorers in the league. He really, really is. I love that he's patterned his body way he works like Kobe. You can, like I said, I've said this many times on this channel. Kobe Bryant, put a video of Kobe Bryant's moves next to Brandon Ingram's moves, and he's mimicked his mechanics, his footwork, the way he elevates, the way he shoots. It's all like a mirror image. There's literally a clip on YouTube that has clips of Brandon playing and Kobe Bryant next to it, and they're like a mirror image. They're doing the exact same things physically with their footwork and movements. So that's what I'm saying. That's a real student of the game. He decided, as a taller player than Kobe, that he wanted to learn Kobe's secrets, and he watched him very intensely, and he mimicked him, and he crafted his game in the likeness of Kobe Bryant. That's smart. That's so smart. So smart. So smart. Fiercey's here. Good morning, fam, and happy Wednesday. Good morning to you, MJ. Hope you're having a fantastic morning in your neck of the woods in Ontario over there. Yeah, Cool Cat saying, good morning, Rapid Freak crew. Busy times, just touching base after the All-Star break will be interesting to see. Yeah, I'm excited. I want to see Brandon sooner than later. Some people are saying they don't want to see him at all this season, but I'm just going to go with the flow. I'll go with the flow of what Masai, Bobby, Darko, and Dr. Alex and the team decide to do, and I won't question it. Some people are going to question and second guess every single thing the Raptors do because it's just their nature. They're untrusting of them. Well, I've learned to trust Masai, and I will continue to trust him because he's the best at what he does. And that's right. Burps Derps Burner is here. Burps Derps Burner. He's saying Knicks are cooked each year by Tibbs. So who cares, really? Yeah, when I brought up the Knicks just a second ago about whether they're at the top, yeah, are they a real threat to win the championship? I don't know. Tibbs runs his players into the ground. I mean, OG, poor guy, man. But by the time the playoffs come around, will OG be able to play? I don't know. OG's been pretty healthy this year, which has been great. I'm very happy for OG that he's been able to play most of the season. But when will this happen? You know this will. Burps is exactly right. That Thibodeau's a maniac, and he overplays his starters a whole season. And what do they have to give when playoffs come around? We learned this lesson 10 years ago on the Raptors team with the way Casey ran DeMar and Kyle to the ground. And every playoff, they didn't have no juice. Oh, yeah, Raptors Nation knows this lesson. And Knicks Nation, well, if you want to learn it now, you can learn it in the age of Thibodeau. You can learn it every year over and over again. And Burps is right. I shouldn't take the Knicks seriously as long as they have that man running them to the ground. That's right. James is saying we got elite defense with Scotty and elite offense with Ingram. This is going to work 100%. I think that, you know what's crazy? You know, the old version of the Raptors, the 6'9" vision, with all the long arm monsters, was so defensive oriented and so big and physical and rebounding, but offense was so bad for our team. We really had a hard time scoring with those teams. The last couple of years of Nick Nurse being our coach, we struggled. We had stagnation. We really had really bad times where we just couldn't buy a bucket. Well, it's weird because in the flip of our rebuild, we've really gone over the other way, and we have such strong offensive players at this point. I mean, RJ is undeniable a bull going into the lane to the basket and getting points, and he's just scorer mentality. He's really just wanting to score all the time, and that's fantastic. We needed that firepower. Brandon's got the technique and the skills and the knowledge and the NBA credentials and pedigree already with him coming in that we know he's a proven elite scorer in this league. You know, Scotty is a burgeoning, blossoming more and more on offense with his mid-range and his middies and his turnarounds and attacking the rim more now and all that kind of stuff and continuing to get better at threes. You know, there's a lot of offensive firepower on this team now more than ever. Emmanuel Quickly, look at that. So I'm just saying, in some ways, the defensive stuff is going to have to be added when we get closer to competing at the championship level. You know, some people think, oh, there's no defense on the Raptors. Well, last month we had defense. We were the number one ranked defense in the league for a while there during that win streak. So it's not like we can't have a good defense. I think it's crazy for people to think that the Raptors aren't a good defensive team. We are a good defensive team. We play a team defense, and when it's locked in and communicating, it's very, very difficult to score on. And that was proven in the month of the last month. So you can close your eyes and say, oh, the Raptors don't have a good defensive team, but you're wrong. And part of it is the emergence of Scotty as a defensive leader like Tim Duncan. Like, seriously, the comparison to Tim Duncan that I made in his rookie year, people laughed at it at that time. I said, no, man, you got to look at his body. You got to look at his athleticism, and you got to look at his mentality. And if he wants to be the anchor of the Raptors defense in a certain way, he can do it just like Duncan. And he has recently. Some people say that's sacrilegious, Lex. You can't say that he's like Duncan. That's so good and that's so high level. Well, I am saying it. And I am saying that kind of defensive leadership and glue guy on defense can have the winning impact that Duncan had too when we get this all sorted out and get it rolling good. Seriously, Scotty is a top-level defender in this league, and he's starting to show more and more. The blocks around the basket have been superb recently. And who used to do those kind of blocks for San Antonio? That's right, Tim Duncan, 21. That's right. That's right. Fiercely saying we are extremely good defensively. I think so too, but according to Beyond, we don't have any good defenders except for Scotty. That's it. So you only got Scotty. That's the only good defender according to Beyond. He says Jakob's a good defender, but he has no rim protection for a center. I don't think that's true. That man blocks shots quite a lot. And once again, I'll say it again. Brandon Ingram on the down low can block shots. He really can. We might see him do that more on the Raptors because there may be more balance to his game between offense and defense than ever in his whole entire career. Because that's the thing. Brandon's going to be a good soldier, and he's going to take the orders from the coach, and he's going to follow the duties. The duties may not be necessarily score 30 points for us. It may be listen to the teammates, play within the system, communicate, help each other, and play off each other. And it's the kind of guidance he's going to have. And I don't see why he wouldn't follow the coach's rules and what he wants him to do. He's a smart guy. He gets it. He gets it. Yeah. Let's see. Randolph saying, blessings. We love Raptor Freaks. Most informative gang. You may be entertaining an angel when you entertain a stranger. You never jump to conclusions because appearance can be deceiving. Yeah, it's crazy. I've been such a recluse out here in the cabin, hibernating this winter that, you know, when I venture out and I interact with the public, I'm kind of very personable. And I'm excited to talk to people because I've been so by myself. And I find that I'm funny and I'm making people laugh because I have it built up in me. It's like I don't know who these people are, and I may just be at a convenience store or the grocery store or something like that, and I may just like buy somebody and we just talk a little bit, and I find that I'm naturally entertaining to people and I get them laughing, which was awesome. I went to the dentist yesterday, and I had the dentist people rolling on the ground just saying stupid stuff like Lex would. I don't know. It's true. I like to be entertaining to everyone I come across. And it's true. You could like be a certain way positively with someone in their day, and you don't know how much of an impact you have on them. You may actually brighten their day to the point where they actually are so happy all of a sudden. And we all have influences on different people. And in some ways, you want to have a good influence on people. You want to build them up. You want to make them feel more empowered. You want to make them feel more seen. You want to make them feel more respected. And that's the kind of stuff we're talking about here. Thank you for the words of wisdom, Randolph Phillips, and blessings to the Phillips family, all the Raptor Freak families this morning. That's right. Smith saying this team will be a 5 or 6 seed year next year at minimum. The message from front office has been consistent. Remember, Masai, things are fluid, and if Star becomes available, well, yeah, that's why I don't understand why he's why. All right, first of all, out of all the times when Bobby or Masai says stuff, why did you lock in and pin just this one statement from the beginning of the year where it's almost like you wanted a contract that this is going to be a rebuild and we have to lose on purpose this year? Oh, he said, yeah, this year's going to be a rebuild. Well, let's think about it this way. Masai coming into this year was doing the season opener conference, and he wanted to set the expectations for the team as this is a rebuilding year. We're probably not going to win a whole lot. And at that time, maybe the Brandon Ingram trade wasn't starting to crystallize as a possibility that's actually going to happen for the Raptors realistically. At that point at the beginning of the season, he's sailing into the year with 5 rookies and a very young team, the youngest team in franchise history. So obviously, Masai's going to tell the press conference, we're going to be rebuilding this year. Well, did you want it in a contract signed and in paper and you're legally going to hold him to it? That's stupid. No, he should be flexible and fluid, just like what we're saying here. And that if he needs to jump on the opportunity to get a talent like Brandon Ingram, well, he did it. And that's why all these people are confused. Wait, we're supposed to be bad. We're supposed to be a rebuilding team. Why are we buying at the trade deadline? Because the opportunity was there for the future. It's the right move for the future. And just because they switch gears in the car and you're not ready for them to kick it into a different gear from the rebuild to, yeah, we're going to get more talent and maybe we'll be better next year. Well, that's just you not ready. I'm ready. Masai's ready. Sky's ready. Brandon's ready. Dargo's ready. But if you're not ready, oh, I'm sorry. But if you want to get in the car, you might as well come along. You can cry in the back and whine about, oh, I didn't want to go yet. Yeah, it's so stupid. I don't get this. They say a lot of different things, and y'all can always act like they're lying or they're not telling enough. Y'all aren't listening enough is what it is. Y'all aren't listening enough. You're going to say Bobby Webster lies or he doesn't say anything. You guys are not listening. Bobby Webster is a very open book. And maybe he's just not saying what you want to hear is what the problem is right there. Yeah, I see this too. I think we're going to be a playoff team next year. I think we'll be a playoff team next year. Yep, I think this is true. G saying we could be dead last, have the lottery ball, get us the 6th pick, and those same people will complain that we should have won more. I know. It's never going to be good enough. There's just contrarians. They're just antagonizers. They're just negative ninnies. They're just Debbie Downers. They're Chicken Littles. And I'm sick of them. In fact, they are probably one of the worst entities in Raptors fan nation. The people that just can't be happy. The people that Kevin Durant described in his tweets this week. It doesn't matter what we do. You're going to complain about it no matter what. It doesn't matter. You just want to complain is what it is. And there's a huge percentage of Raptors fan nation, not a huge one. Hopefully it's less than 50% or 40% that are like this. They're going to complain either way because that's just their action. In some ways, they're not really fans because their action shows you what they are. That's what I'm saying. In this world of social media where people are just trolling and coming at you and they're not necessarily what they're perceiving, you perceive them to be. Like, oh, they can have the name Raptors fan on there, 23, but they're not really a Raptors fan. And by what they're saying, you can tell who is what by that. Seriously. Because there's so many anonymous things that could be going on online. You don't know who the hell's writing this stuff. So don't judge them by them identifying as a Raptors fan. Judge them by their actions and what they say. That's enough for you to know whether they're for the Raptors or not. Because if they're putting them down or they're gaslighting or they're trying to instill unconfident things about the front office or things like that, they're not a Raptors fan. They're probably a bitter Mavs fan who's upset about his team trading Luka, and they're in their depression and they're lashing out because they just saw the Raptors make a Brandon Ingram bid, and they're in their own feelings because they're a Mavs fan named Beyond. Yeah. That's what it is right there. Seriously. I could see that right through that. Seriously. So you're all upset and sad because your team is stupid and they got a horrible GM that just ran your team in the ground. So you're going to have to be gaslighting Raptors fans beyond. Oh, my gosh. Why you got to do that, man? Seriously, you're gaslighting. Most saying, I'm with Lex here. I hate the hype around Cooper. I don't even want him one bit. I don't either. Because to get him means we had to be really, really bad. I still want to get 26 wins this year. We got 9 more wins to get after the All-Star break. That's very doable. I think that me trying to get more wins than last year shouldn't be people getting mad about that. Seriously, you want to improve. Darko had 1 year of coaching the Raptors. He got 25 wins. He wants to improve every year, right? So he needs to get plus 25 wins. And any Raptors fans who are trying to stand in the way of us getting to 26 wins at least, you're not a fan. Once again, you're not a fan. And none of these draft picks are going to come and save us. I don't give a shit how much you think Cooper Flag is good. Nothing's proven until he actually gets there. He could look real good in the ACC, playing and running around for Duke. But you don't know how good he's going to be in the NBA. There's nothing guaranteed. And there's a man that you guys keep bringing up named Keith Van Horn that is proof enough of what we're talking about right here. That's right. That's what we're talking about right there. Yeah, Smooth saying a star did become available. The Raptors pounced, and we are on a new old path. Be happy, Raptors fans. Exactly. I don't understand why y'all are so miserable. We're in a no-lose scenario right now. We can't lose. We lose, we win. We win, we win. So why are y'all so miserable? I'll keep asking y'all that. Fiercely saying, that's the term I was looking for, Lex, loser mentality. I still don't understand why people are upset with a team they supposedly root for losses. Building bad habits destroy killer instincts so bad. I'd be frustrated. I'd be so frustrated if my daughter adapted such mentality. Yeah, you don't lose to win. I'm sorry. It's not the way to do it. In some ways, once again, I'm going to remind people the Raptors, out of all 30 franchises in the NBA, are a special team that have to do things different than other people. Y'all cannot use logic and ways of the other teams and how they do things, because all of them are different with different things. Some of them have privilege. Some of them have players granted to them, like Luka Doncic. Some of them are afterthoughts that are just spoiling away because they have inept management and they make poor decisions all the time, like the Wizards. No, we're different. We're the only Canadian team. And because of free agency issues and other things, we have to do things different than other teams. And in some ways, part of our special part of the package with us being Toronto is we have Masai and Bobby, which is a special premium thing, which means it doesn't matter where we draft. We're going to get gold. And that's the thing I keep telling Raptors fans. You do not sacrifice trying all out to win just to try and get more ping pong balls, because you should be trusting in Masai and Bobby that whoever we get for a draft pick is going to be the right draft pick, because the track record has shown this. Jacoby Walter at 19, Jamal Shed in the second round. All the guys they've been getting the last couple of years have been hits. So why do you care about where we draft? We're probably going to be drafting in the top 10, and we'll get a top 10 lottery draft talent. But don't get it twisted. These guys will make gold at anywhere they pick. And we do not have to be like the Wizards and pick number 1 to make sure we get gold. No, we're that good. And that's the thing. Every team is different, has their own package. Well, we've got Masai and Bobby as strength. And in some ways, that strength makes us invulnerable to where we pick. We could pick the last pick in the draft. We could Ulrich Shamshay. So let's not get it twisted here, Raptors fans. Lean into our strength. And our strength is our guys who draft. And it doesn't matter where we draft. It doesn't matter. Now, some people say, oh, no. Like, what if happened what G just said? We get the worst record and we still have to draft 6th. And people be so upset. Yeah, and I'll be like, I hate you guys for wanting us to lose this whole time, and we still only got the 6th pick. You know, you idiots. So that's what I was saying. We can't control the ping pong balls. And if you've been listening to Bobby and Masai, they both said this in the past year, and that they don't do things for as a franchise in consideration of worrying about the ping pong balls, because they can't control the ping pong balls. So they don't care about that. So, yeah, we're going to figure this all out over time. People will figure this out. And they'll understand. That's right. Let's see. Randolph saying, Lex, I think you should allow for those who express their desire for the team to get a top draft pick without calling them names. But winning not enough to make the playoffs or playing is the concern. I know. And I may have called some people motherfuckers today. But I'm just so sick of it, Randolph. I've got a lot of fatigue on this particular thing in Raptors Nation this year. I get it. We're a bad team this year. We've lost a lot. But it doesn't mean we need to lose. That's the thing I said before is like there's a gradient of different levels of teams at different winning percentages in the NBA every year. And some people's mentality is if you're not at the very top, you better be at the very bottom. There's no in between. But there's going to be an in between no matter what. And in some ways, yeah, if you're near the bottom, you're going to have a better chance to get a higher draft pick. It's just a loser mentality. They're idiots. I will call them names, Randolph, because I'm sick of them. And honestly, I want to try and get people to stop having a loser mentality right now, because it's really not a good idea.
I know how I feel about this is the same as how Darko feels. I know how I feel about this is the same as Jakob Pertl and Jamal Sheikh and Jacoby Walter feel about this. I'm on the same page as the team. I'm on the same page as the coach and the players. Now, I may not be totally on the same page with the front office exactly, but that's up to them, and that's their discretion on how they want to direct from the top. If they want to pull punches and have Jakob Pertl sit for a month for the rest of the season and lose games partly because Jak is not playing, that's their choice. They've done stuff like this at the end of Tampa and other places where they've had a lot of people just kind of sitting out because of injuries and manipulated whether we won or lost. But that's not for me to decide. And I'm not going to be a fan crying out for it because that's the wrong mentality. If Bobby and Masai secretly are doing anything to do that kind of stuff like they did in the Houston game where they didn't play the right players to win the game against the Rockets and we lost, well, that's their choice. But otherwise, my mode is all out to win, just like Darko and the players. And that's the difference. The front office may do some stuff at the top to manipulate things, but for the most part, everybody who's trying to compete to win, the players and the coaches, they're not doing that. They're not in that mentality. They're every night trying out there to win. And that's what it is right there. Yeah, Fiercey saying, now that the off-season potential chatter is squashed, of course they have to create content to rant about, his fit on the team. So thirsty to find negative aspects to their agenda. I've stumbled across many posts from Pels fans saying homage to BI. It seems he was very much liked and appreciated. Their losses are gains, so let's take care of them and perpetuate the respect. That's right. That's right. Yeah, it's true because Bobby was smart and he got the extension done with Brandon. Brandon wanted it too. 3 years is a good deal. According to Beyond, that's the right amount of time. So he agrees with that. It really takes a big talking point that people like Josh Lewenberg and Michael Grange would gaslight Raptors fans about because it's off the table. They can't say, oh, well, what if Brandon just leaves on the Raptors? Oh, they like to go after old pains that the Raptors have had, like a Vince Carter leaving us or whatever, Chris Bosh leaving us. You scare us. Oh, because it's Toronto, people gonna leave. Well, Brandon's not leaving. He's already signed the extension. And you guys can't make that content right now. So you got to be thinking light bulbs. How can we gaslight Raptors fans instead? Well, let's gaslight them on the fit. Let's gaslight them on what the hell are they doing? We can't tell what they're doing. They're in the middle of doing in the middle. What are they doing? We don't know what they're doing. I can never figure out what the Raptors are doing. This is so stupid. Let them do what they do. Let them cook. They cook when they do what they do because they've always cooked. Messiah's cooked this whole time. So it's like, I don't know what they're doing. ESPN writers do this all the time. That's part of why these Raptors fans buy into it. They read ESPN articles by Peloton or Bontemps, and they're saying, I don't understand what the Raptors are doing with their roster. And then the fans start parroting it, our own fans. Like, what are we doing? You know what? Watch the Raptor Street channel. We'll explain it to you what they're doing. If you don't know what they're doing, don't read ESPN articles. They don't know. They're not paying attention to us. I am. So come talk to me. I'll tell you what they're doing. James is saying the Pelicans should trade Zion as well and start a full rebuild. This guy's always injured. I know they're trying to probably. They probably are. I could see them trying to do this, James. It could very well be Zion's going to be gone next too. Yeah, I like a lot of their players. In fact, this shouldn't have gone this way with the Pelicans. Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, Alvarado. They've got a lot of really good pieces and really, really good talent. And they've been so dominant when they're healthy and they're running right. But, man, it's sad because Zion's so unreliable, they've had to blow it up. And, yeah, I would do this. I would do this because, honestly, if the Mavericks don't feel comfortable with Luka being available and doing the right things to get them a championship, well, why would the Pelicans think this in any kind of way after the time they've had Williamson? So it's some weird thing. Like, I don't know what happens with Zion. Zion gets traded and maybe goes to a team where they kind of just go somewhere else and you just can be whoever you are because this team doesn't matter because it's Charlotte or something. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen to him. These players need to watch out, though, because this NBA at some point is going to say, players like you guys, we don't have a place for you. And as soon as we recognize your type, we're not going to waste millions of dollars in time trying to deal with you guys. We're going to recognize your type and we're going to get you cut and out of here right away. In some ways, they're ruining it for just blanketed, you're going to be okay. You can be in the NBA and do things. No, you guys have abused this. And in some ways, the GMs and the people who decide who's going to be on teams are going to be a lot more fickle about the personalities that they bring in because of people like Zion. Yeah. Fiercely saying RJ was labeled as a toxic asset from Knicks Nation. If that's the case, that's the kind of toxicity I like. Go RJ. Yeah, I don't know why they think he's toxic. Maybe because the way his contract was and the size of it, they thought that it was a toxic contract. I don't know if they thought he was a toxic person. It was more that the size of the contract and what he was doing on the court for efficiency wasn't lining up to some Knicks Nation. So they're very critical of it. But in some ways, with the new salary cap and the expansion of salaries in this league, the RJ deal looks very fair right now, especially for the output and the efficiency he's doing in a Raptors jersey opposed to the Knicks. So that's a big difference right there. He may not have been efficient enough or doing things exactly right in New York to justify that contract. And that's why they said it was a toxic asset. It was really the contract. It wasn't his personality or what he was doing on the team or how he fit with his teammates. He was just awesome in all kinds of ways. It's more about the money and what they were getting for it in return in his play. Well, in some ways, he's his game enough that it's like the money looks fine right now. As far as he plays better defense, he's passing more. And honestly, he's shooting his shot better. The only thing he's doing worse is shooting free throws. That's the only thing he's doing worse since he came to Toronto. Smith saying New Orleans is a mess. They have no direction and a weird roster. Bruce Brown does not want a buyout. He wants to keep his money. Yeah, well, he's gonna get his money. He's gonna earn it being in that place. I don't think Bruce is happy in New Orleans at all right away. And it really kind of shows. It's interesting how he really did kind of was into being a Raptor. And he really bought into it for this past year. And he was a good citizen and a good pro. But down there, I can already tell in the pictures, he looks disgruntled. And he doesn't look totally happy that he's there. And it may be that it's like, yeah, this is worse. This isn't going nowhere. In Toronto, I could see the direction they're going. But here, this is like a mess. And in some ways, yeah, he's going to stay there in pain, earn his money and not do a buyout. That's his choice. He could have done a buyout and maybe jumped on another team, but maybe he's also finding out that the interest in him isn't as great as he thought. And, maybe there aren't championship caliber teams that are clamoring to get him added to their roster to make that last little bit to get over to win the NBA championship. It could be very well that. Well, he'll tank the rest of the season. You'll be a free agent this summer and let the market decide. That's what will happen right there. That's it right there. Yeah, interesting. Let's see. G saying, haha, Fiercey, give us more toxicity in that case. Yeah, we like the RJ toxicity. It's a toxic asset it's the contract, really. It wasn't his personality. Yeah. Smooth saying they have no. Yeah. As far as, anyway, that's a comment from, yeah, they have no direction. Yeah, they have no direction. Nako saying, I think finding the most talented player you can on the cheap is a fantastic plan. Yeah. Yeah, it's opportunist. In some ways, that's the thing that I don't get why people are so confused about him doing that. Masai said this is his move. He said it for a couple of years now, that when a big player is disgruntled on a team, then there's an opportunity because they need to be getting out of there and the team can't keep them anymore. Well, that's Brandon Ingram. That's Kawhi Leonard. And that's Masai's finishing move. That's his finishing move. It's like, yeah, he just did his finishing move this trade deadline. And, well, it's going to look good. And there'll be a little bit of add-on moves, like a Marc Gasol kind of move, when we get closer to actually being championship level and in the finals. We'll see how quickly that takes or how long this takes. We'll have to see. Let's see. Fiercely saying weird because Rich Paul did flaunt the signing. That's right, because they did say signed by Clutch and stuff like that. I guess they just need to update his Wikipedia. His Wikipedia says he's represented by Excel. So this is true because I remember the news report said Clutch, and we talked about this, remember? So he's definitely with Rich Paul and Clutch. Yeah. Perhaps you're right, Lex. Wikipedia needs to be updated. I think that's it. I heard anyone could get in and add stuff. I wonder if it's true. Yeah, you could. It's actually, it gets fact checked by people that read it. If you're reading a Wikipedia article and there's something in it, is absolutely not true. If you have the editor ability, you could go in and check it and make it right yourself. It's very accurate. A lot of people dissed Wikipedia for not being accurate, but no, it's getting checked all the time. And little details that aren't exactly right, they get fixed all the time too. So it is actually a pretty good, reliable source because there's a lot of editors editing it all the time. They want to make sure that it's exactly right. So, yeah, let's see. Fiercely saying was looking for Coach Pop's status. No mention of his stroke in Wiki as if he's still actively coaching. Yeah, that may not be the place to find it. But, yeah, he had a stroke this season. He has not been coaching for about 4 months almost now. And Mitch Johnson's been the backup coach, the head coach for the Spurs now. And Spurs Nation's been mixed reviews on him being the head coach so far. There's been some good stuff and bad stuff. They've been happy with him at times, and then there's stuff that they feel like he really screwed up too. So it's been an interesting switch. He was one of the candidates for the Raptors head coaching job when we hired Darko. Mitch Johnson was on the list, and we did interview him for the job here. So he is an up-and-coming star in the coaching world. And, well, it just may be that he's going to get his spot because of, unfortunately, Pop having a stroke. Yeah, but I hear Pop's recovering well, and he's getting stronger and healthier, and that's what we want to hear. That's what we want to hear. I don't know if he'll ever coach again, though, man. It's sad, though. Trevor saying there was a video yesterday showing 100 for people at the Mexico Customs getting away from the USA. Okay, I don't even know what that is, what you're saying. And in some ways, I don't even want to cover this topic. So I'm just going to let that one pass, Trevor, all due respect. We want to stay on basketball. There's all kinds of stupid stuff going on right now. Fiercely saying, Lex, that Stephen A. take totally supports what you're saying for xenophobia. Oakland saying he doesn't want us to win again. Wanting a championship in USA, international players cannot be the face of the league. Yeah, Stephen A. Smith showing his ass and saying that, and this Spurs fans were going after him for this because of Wemby. You're an idiot, Stephen A. Whatever should be, shall be. Que sera, sera. If the best player in the league is going to be a global player, let it be that way. If the best player in the league is going to be an American player, let it be that way. And you know what? You outwardly saying this, it just shows, in some ways, these kind of statements show fear because he knows inevitably that the Americans are not going to be the best players in the league. Because honestly, the system is setting this up. They have horrible role models. The AAU system is broken. The kids are not learning the game right in America. In a lot of ways, this is symbolic of many things in education, as far as like American education system sucks. And there's better scientists coming from China, and there's better basketball players coming from Serbia because these players learn the right way instead of the half-ass way, the way the system is in the United States. Some of it has to do with this too much and not enough with building real skills. So he can be scared of this. He's scared. And in some ways, the NBA can manufacture that the top star is a U.S. player in the league. But if Victor Wembanyama is running around at 7'5", dominating the league, everybody will know deep in their heart that's not true. So it's like Stephen A. Smith, you can want what you want, but that doesn't change the truth. And y'all can write the storylines and do all your U.S. xenophobia kind of bullshit. But the truth will be shown on the court in the play and what happens on there. And everybody deep in their heart will know that Victor Wembanyama is the face of the league, the best player in the league. And he's from France, motherfucker. That's what I say right there. Yeah. He said outright he doesn't want to see the Raptors ever win again. There's a lot of people that have said that. They say, I never want to see the Raptors ever win again. That's what we're up against. That's why we're badasses. That's why when we do it again, all those people be crying. That's right. So we're saying Lonnie Walker signed with the Sixers. I'm very happy about this. Lonnie's awesome. Lonnie's a great player, and I was surprised that the Celtics didn't try and keep him somehow earlier this season and he had to go overseas. Well, the Sixers in a bad place, and they could use all the help in the world. So we're going to play the Sixers a couple more times this season, and Lonnie Walker IV has been added to the roster. They need a lot of help, though, there, and I don't know if Lonnie's enough. And have they shut down Embiid yet? Y'all are just wasting your time until you shut down Embiid. You got to shut him down. He got a buyout from his European team. Well, he's happy to continue his NBA dream. In some ways, he didn't want to even go over there this year, and he's happy to return right back and be on the Sixers, even if the Sixers are dysfunctional as hell. He's going to be there. That's right. Yeah. Nako's saying Orlando when healthy is good. Orlando Robinson. Yeah, he's pretty good. He's healthy right now. I like him too. He's great. Trevor's saying, Steve, I know you meant the team, Nako. I'm just messing with you. Trevor's saying Stephen A. Smith, such a hater. He said no international player can be the face of the NBA because basketball is a born American sport. Somebody better give him a memo. Yeah, NBA equals National Basketball Association. Does he know who Naismith is? Does he know that the first ever NBA game was played here in Toronto? Does he know that, Naismith was Canadian? Anyway, it doesn't matter what Stephen A. Smith is because he's a talking head. He's full of shit. He's going to talk out of his ass. And in some ways, he's just mirroring the weirdness in the United States in some ways, in his sphere of influence, which is the NBA. And in some ways, it is whatever. He can say this, but once again, like I said just a couple minutes ago, he can want this to be true, but it won't be true because everybody will see the evidence on the court. And in some ways, you could say this year, who are the top MVP candidates for this league? It's SGA, Nikola, Giannis. Who's the top American MVP candidate right now? Who? Jason Tatum? Nah, come on, man. He's not the MVP of the league. Who's the top MVP candidate of the Americans? And why is it that none of them are actually the top? Because they're lazy, half of them. All of them are all aged out or old. Most of the important ones, like Steph Curry, LeBron, Kevin, and then the young ones are being knuckleheads like John Morant, Zion Williamson, Anthony Edwards. So it's like, whatever's going to happen, case for Ross, whatever will be. And the truth will be what the truth is. And Stephen A. Smith can opine and wish no European player will be the face of the league, but he can't stop it. It's going to happen. Just like how basketball became a big sport in Canada and hockey didn't like it. Well, Stephen A. Smith can say this about the face of the league has to be an American, but he's not going to get that. He's not going to get that. They can market the hell everything around there. But in some ways, you guys can ignore Nikola and not make him the face of the league, but he has been the best player in the NBA the last few years. There's no denying that. There's no denying that Nikola Jokic has been the best NBA player in the league for the last 5 years. And SGA is looking like he's about to take that relay baton and run with it next. So, yeah, you go ahead. You go ahead, NBA. Try and make your whatever. We know what it is. And deep down in our heart, we can feel the truth. And it doesn't matter what you promote. In some ways, that's been part of being a Raptors fan this whole time. Y'all don't need to promote us. Y'all don't need to pay attention to us. Y'all don't need to cover us. But we know what we're doing up here is good, and we're going to be good again. And when we surprise y'all and come back and get our second championship, yeah, well, it's your damn fault for ignoring us. And that's why you didn't see us coming. And that's what I'll say on that. Yeah, Trevor's saying Kim Kardashian reached out to Luka, but he reclined. What? Well, smart guy. I mean, isn't there something with the Kardashian family and sports teams when they get bad things happen? More than a smart guy. And Luka's married, right? Like, why would she be reaching out to him? Luka's got a kid. He just had a child in the last year, and he's married. So I don't understand this. Kim Kardashian, stay in your lane is what I'll say right here, maybe. Nago saying Wemby, Joker, SGA, Murray, Pascal, Sabonis, Sengun, Franz, RJ, Embiid, Cat, international all-star caliber off the top of my head. I know that's a full team right there. And everybody's making jokes that the international team could not fill out a full real all-star roster. You're crazy. You are so crazy. There's so many good international players in the league right now, more than ever, and more are coming. What were the top 2 picks in the draft last year? Both French guys. That's right. Fiercely saying Canada basketball is Canadian. I guess he hasn't done his research. Although true basketball heads should know this, he sounds dumb as fuck. Why does he have a platform? Because he's very good at talking and just like being emotional, and he's entertaining to a degree. But in some ways, yeah, he's not a journalist. He's not a reporter. He's a personality. He's a talking head. And I wish we still had journalists like Zach Lowe and Mark J. Spears and people like that were involved in these kind of positions on TV instead of professional jackasses like Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith. Yeah, seriously. Carlos saying, morning, Lex and Philip Freaks. Morning to you, Carlo JS. We're talking Brandon Ingram this morning. We're going deep diving on the idea of Brandon on the Raptors and what to expect. And always good to see Carlo. And Santino's doing very well. Yeah, Fiercely saying, don't want to foster division, but Nako, this list is legit. Add Giannis, Kyrie, technically, Jordan Clarkson, etc. Remove all these international players from the league. What would it look like? Yeah. I mean, anyway, this is not really a hill that I care about staying on, because the truth, as I said, will be revealed over time, and they can kid themselves all they want. And honestly, the problem is that this comes in waves, right? It comes in how development comes up, just like the Air Canada effect in Canada. Vince does what he does, and it causes SGA and RJ and all this stuff coming up. The NBA championship for the Raptors will have a similar effect. There's going to be a younger generation of Canadian stars that are going to come up after Zach Edey and the people that are coming up right now, Oliver Ryu. And the U.S. in some ways have messed up their development system of young players because of prep stuff and AAU and stuff like that. So in some ways, the stuff that's coming down the pipeline is players, but they're not quality. And some of them just don't know how to play the game fundamentally right because they're not learning the right skills in certain ways. They're very heavily based on shooting and dribbling, but they're not learning passing. They're not learning team concept. They may not even be learning proper ways to dribble and stuff like that. They're doing fancy trick dribbling and stuff like that. So it's like the problem is that the pipeline for good American talent sucks right now because they're not trained properly. And they're going to see in the next few years that American players just aren't as good as the European players, or even maybe the Canadian players, partly because they are not getting the same kind of team training and NBA or basketball training that other places are doing. You know, the way they teach people in France and Serbia and Germany, basketball, Italy, the places over there in Australia is totally different than the United States. And in some ways, the United States may have had all the benefits of all kinds of things, but they squandered it, and they've been lazy, and they're worried about more different things than actually getting the player to be a good player. In some ways, it's not worried about that. It's more promoting. It's more about endorsement deals. It's more about branding. It's more about those kind of things. And they're letting a lot of the important fundamental stuff about learning to be a basketball player slide and not happen. And then they show up and they're not a very good player in the league, even though they were promoted and hyped like this. This is what I see right now. That the development system in the United States is in jeopardy, and it's going to cause why the American players won't be as good as the global players in the next decade. Seriously, right there is exactly it. And a lot of people are raising the alarm on this for the last couple of years in the NBA, saying that, yeah, we're not doing it right here in the States, and they're doing it better in Europe. And that's why the higher draft picks are from European players at this point, and why more and more of the top stars in the NBA are international. It's like Stephen A. Smith can worry about all this, but the reality is the American system's broken for developing basketball talent, and they're not getting it right. Zion Williamson was a canary in the coal mine coming up in some ways. So this kid is all the talent in the world of a physical freak. Why is he getting dropped the ball in his NBA career? Because there were certain things lacking in his training that are essential to be a top pro and to be able to survive in the NBA and be healthy and play, is he doesn't have. So I'm just saying, that's what I'm saying right there, all of that right there. W stream, there's my cutoff from Fiercey. It's 11 o'clock. I've got about a half an hour to go. Let's see. Monique saying, thanks, Lex, for giving me the credit for Stackhouse Ingram bond. I knew they were close. We may see Jerry more and more in Toronto now. Yeah, that may be right. Yeah, I just had no realization. You know what it is, Mo? I dig deeper. They're from the same hometown. Jerry Stackhouse was born in the same city that Brandon Ingram was. And it's weird because Stackhouse met Brandon's dad before he blew up and became an NBA player. This is like something where he was a prep star coming up, and he played pickup ball with Brandon's dad before then. So Stackhouse and his journey has been a part of, like, he's been involved with Brandon's life since he was a little kid. There's a documentary out. I'm on Reddit right now. Let's do a reaction to Reddit real quick. And at the top of Reddit, on Toronto Raptors Reddit this morning, there's somebody saying, anyone watch Court of Gold on Netflix yet? Cool to see Steve Nash has such a close relationship with RJ. Yeah, because Steve Nash is best friends with Rowan Barrett Sr. Steve Nash is RJ's godfather. And in some ways, RJ's in constant contact with Steve Nash all the time. He's a mentor to him, and he's like his godfather. So he's like his second father. So, those kind of relationships and mentorships are really important. RJ's got Steve, Brandon's got Jerry. These are great stuff. These are great guidances and stuff like that. But I like that on Raptors Reddit. They brought this up. Has anybody watched Court of Gold yet? The documentary, I guess. It's pretty cool to see RJ, the Barrett family breaking bread with Steve Nash in the picture there. Very, very cool. Yeah, so that's what's on Raptors Reddit today. React to that. The Court of Gold and RJ and him. Yeah, let's see. Mischief saying, Lex, have you scouted out Trey Johnson? If Ace Bailey ain't available, I'd happy with Trey Johnson. Who you like more, Trey Johnson or Kasparis? I'll take Trey over Kasparis. Another ESPN mock draft has us at 5th, picking Kasparis. Kasparis, the Lithuanian point guard, is where they're putting us right now. I've seen a couple drafts being towards that at this point. We've kind of shifted in where we are in the bottom, and VJ is kind of going away from the VJ pick to being more at the Kasparis pick. I'll go look at Trey Johnson. All right, don't remember if I watched him yet or not, but I'll go look at him for you. In some ways, this is not a day I would do it, but we have a light day, so might as well. I think we might have seen Trey. I'm not sure. Trey Johnson is Richard Earl Trey Johnson III. He's from Garland, Texas, and he plays for the Texas Longhorns. He is, let's see, where's his height? He's only 18 years old right now. He's 6'6". He's 184 pounds, and he's a shooting guard. And he's a McDonald's All-American. He's a 5-star recruit, according to all the rankings for recruiting. So he's a 5-star recruit. His father has played basketball at Baylor before transferring to Midwestern State. Okay, so his father played college ball too. All right, let's go look at Trey Johnson, the scout of the day, on YouTube right now. We'll go check out him. This is what I do. I do, instead of music reactions or stuff like that, I do reactions to players that are coming up from the college ranks into the draft. And I don't watch college basketball, so this is going to be the first time ever that I've watched Trey Johnson, unless I've already watched him before. I'm trying to remember if I watched him or not. He does seem kind of familiar, so maybe I did watch him. I'm not totally sure, but we'll watch him again just for a second. Which one do I want to look at? Let's do the early season highlights. Trey Johnson. Oops. Let's see. Okay, there he is shooting a corner three. He has a weird kick out on his leg. If he does that, he's going to get an offensive foul. Don't do that kick out on your 3-point shot, Trey. There's a nice drive to the basket. He avoids the shot blocker with a little delayed shot. The guy went up to block him, and he waited for him, and then he laid it in. It's really good. That's a nice shot. He has a nice follow-through. His 3-point shot looks really sound. There's some hustle. He gets the ball. Boom. He shoots that one. That one's deep. That was an NBA 3 right there. That was a legit NBA 3. He has some interesting dribble work to get open on the outside. And, well, he just steps out a little further, and he's like, okay, you gave me too much room. Yeah, I'm like that. Okay, so is this guy trending towards like Steph Curry, Fred VanVleet range as far as his three-pointer? I like that because it seems like he likes to take it 5 feet away from the college three-point line. Very interesting dribble. He likes to make room for himself to invade by dribbling aggressively against the person and keeping the handle low. But yeah, I like that. He's very aggressive. He's a big body for his position. In some ways, he looks like he'd be very good physically in the NBA as far as his stature. He doesn't look weak. In some ways, I like his ball handling with the strength and his aggressiveness. I really, really do. Yeah, that's a nice 3 there. Really nice rotation, really nice technique on his shooting. He has a very good fundamental shot. Here we go. We'll see him in the paint. He's backing a guy down in the post. He goes to the center of the lane, dribbles the center lane, and then elevates over him. So a little bit less than power, more speed, going quickly a step to the center of the lane and just elevating to make the shot, the short range 10-foot jumper. There's a quick shot. He has a quick release. He's a quick catch and shoot, which is nice. How he makes room on this long arm defender that's on him. He does a little shoot, a little crossover, and then a little bit over to get to this middle lane again. He's very good at shaking the defender and making his own shot without needing to be passed to. He's got some moves like a crossover move to shake him away. And I like how quickly he elevates when he gets to the lane. You know, if we're going to draft this position, I like this guy, but I don't want to draft this position. I feel like with Jacoby around and Grady, this would just make things even more murkier. But if we're going to rate this position in this draft, he's one of the best shooting guard swings I've seen so far. 6'6", Trey Johnson of Texas. Yeah, I like this. I like this player a lot, Mischief. I think this guy is one of the better swings that are available in this draft. So, yeah, 2 thumbs up from me. But as I said before, when I look at guards right now for the draft coming up, I'm not looking at that position. We need a 4 or a 5. That is the biggest deficiency on our team. And if we really want to add talent, we need to add talent in the front court. It's going to help us block shots and rebound and play defense. And that's why I fully endorse Common Malak as the Raptors pick. That is my guy. I'm going to keep harping on him up until the draft. That is my number 1 pick that the Raptors should try and zero in on for right there. Thank you, Mister, for the scout of the day. I appreciate you, man. As far as those other guys, I liked Kasparis to a degree, but once again, I'm not interested in a point guard. We got Joel Shed now. Emmanuel Quickly is our starting point guard. In some ways, yeah, maybe we get a third guy coming up in the bottom. Maybe. We'll see. I trust them aside. They'll make the right decisions with the draft picks we got. But I want Malak. That's who I want. Carlos saying Ulrich out for the season, MCL tear as per Blake Murphy. All right, we'll go to Blue Skies. That is breaking news. That was not up when I started the stream, and now I'll go and see Blake Murphy's put this out. This sucks, man. I was worried about this because I saw the injury in the game, and the fact that this has happened is no good. All right, where is it, Blake Murphy? Come on now. Tell me what's up. Okay, there's a lot of people chiming in on this. First of all, an hour ago, Blake Murphy has said, Ulrich Shumshe is out for the season with MCL tear. Hope he can be ready for Summer League. Suffered the injury last 905 game when a teammate fell in his leg. It sucks. Yeah, it looked bad. Kennedy Chandler fell into the side of his leg, and it bent the wrong way. It didn't bend with the joint. It bent in. And I knew that there was going to be some sort of bad tear. Now, Shamshay tried to get up and walk it off, which was probably not smart, but they had to help him off the court and take him to the back. I knew it was going to be a bad injury, but we hadn't heard anything about it in over a week. Like, this injury happened a week ago, and they just been quiet about it. So that sucks, man. That really, really sucks. So they're hoping that he'll be ready for summer league. So there goes the idea that Shamshay is going to be playing for the big club more at the end of the season. It's just not going to happen. And this is a real blow to the 905 championship dreams also, because he's been the best defender for the team and absolutely a real presence for them defensively. This sucks. This is really bad. Now, it sounds like they've added a guy named Lacey James as the backup for Quincy Guerriere, because he's gone to FIBA qualifiers for Canada for the next week. So Quincy's getting the assignment to go represent Canada in a FIBA tournament this week. So they brought in Lacey James. I'm not sure who Lacey James is. Let's go do a scout on Lacey James real quick. The latest 905 player added. Who is Lacey James? Lacey James? Lacey James is a center for 905. He played college. He's 6'9", 240 pounds. He's from Northern Illinois. And it looks like he's played for Texas Legends and Grand Rapids Gold and WCB. Which one is that? I forget which one WCB is. But yeah, he's been in the G League for a couple of years now. And well, now we've acquired him to help out with the loss of Shamshay and Guerriere going temporarily. And this is really bad news. I was hoping that we'd hear something like, Shamshay's fine. He's just going to keep going. But I was worried this was going to happen. Josh Lundberg said, and also, the Raptors announced Ulrich will miss the rest of the season after sustaining a partial MCL tear. It's good that it's a partial. They're targeting Summer League for his return. Fortunate for the NBA's youngest player, by all accounts, has made real strides this season. Completely. Yeah. Doug Smith on the same on Blue Sky saying, Raptors say Ulrich has a tear in a ligament in his right knee and will be out likely until Summer League. The 19-year-old had a solid rookie season, learning the game with 33 G League games and a handful of short NBA stints. Yeah, this sucks, man. This sucks. Man, that is disappointing. But you know what? It is what it is. These kind of things are going to happen. And, well, hopefully Ulrich will recover quickly and he'll be okay faster. But, yeah, this sucks. He's going to have to sit on the side and get a lot of learning. In some ways, I don't think he'll be down at the 905 level sitting around watching them. He'll probably be sitting on our bench for most of the year, soaking it all in on the Raptors main bench with sitting next to Garrett Temple and people like that. So, yeah, I hate this. I hate this breaking news from ROJS. I thought it might be happening because that injury did look real bad. And dang it, man, this is why I didn't want Kenny Chandler on our team the whole year. I know it's not Kennedy's fault. But in some ways, he's been annoying me all year because he's been playing like really selfish. And now he's the guy who fell into Ulrich's leg. And I hate that. Halima's here. Lovely. Good morning to you, Halima Jama. This is the Raptor Freak channel. We talk Raptors issues and things every single day as positive Raptors fans that love our team, want to see them win and do very, very well all the time. And we're not trying to be toxic like fans that are negging the team all the time on the down low. But yeah, every single day, 9:30 in the morning, we're here, and I hope you'll join us again. Always nice to see a new name in the chat. Lovely. Lovely. Yes, it's a lovely day if you like snow. Yikes. Nako Stanishev. I like Jakusianis. I'm going to say Kasparus because it's easier. Out of everyone you mentioned, but I take Fears over all of them. I take Fears over all of them more because he's bigger and he has longer arms, and in some ways he would be more fitting the positions I want to fill in. As far as things, Jeremiah Fears. Yeah, I ranked him very highly too. I like Fears too. Yeah, Monique saying, damn, just sad for Ulrich. Yeah, it's just how it goes. It sucks. Well, he'll hopefully be better for this somehow, some way. That's what we got to wish for him. G saying, Nako add Giannis and Luka too. We are good. Yeah, those guys need to be on that international team for sure. For sure. Yeah. Kyrie, I don't know if we'll get Kyrie though. Kyrie represents USA, even though he's born in Australia. But hey, we could get Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey's a pretty good international player also. People kind of looking over. Who knows? He might be an all-star in the next couple of years himself. Let's see. Nako saying, Bobby says just enough without telling everyone the specific formula. Yeah, well, he's a GM. He can't be telling exactly what he's going to do. What do you expect? He's got all kinds of proprietary secret things that he's got going on. He can't be telling us everything. That's why I think it's so ludicrous when people say Bobby Webster just doesn't tell us what's going on. If he was good at his job, he wouldn't tell you, and he is good at his job. If he's bad at his job, he would tell y'all, and that's not smart. So I don't get that. In fact, he explains and tells us a lot more than people actually do. They just are very poor listeners. They don't hear what he's saying. Listen to him. Let the words come into your head. Digest them. Recognize them. Oh, don't just say, oh, he's not telling me anything, because he's not telling you what he's going to trade or specifics. It don't make no sense. He'd be a bad GM if he showed his hand in poker every time. He'd be a very, very bad GM. Fiercely saying, just hearing Lex imitating Tank Nation and saying we're supposed to be bad this year, so irritating. Since when striving for mediocrity a good thing in hopes of the losing will make you better? Well, Sixers are a cautionary tale for this. I don't know why people can't understand this. You can just look at the Sixers organization and how hard it's been for them to get anywhere with winning since they lost on purpose for years in a row. Totally like that. Yeah. Yeah, I know it's irritating too. I say, listen, I'm a realist. When we lost games early this season, it's because we weren't good enough to beat those teams with experience and our talent at that time. But our experience has been growing every single game with these young guys, and our talent just got upgraded with Brandon Ingram. So it's like we'll have better weapons to win against other NBA teams now because our talent's been upgraded and our experience is getting better and better every day. Of course, at the beginning of the season, we're going to lose close games because we have a bunch of young guys, the youngest roster in the history of the Raptors, that don't really know how to close out games correctly. This is all normal with a rebuild. But I'm going to say this, the fact that they could beat the Clippers and the Sixers in the last couple of weeks in those kind of games showed that they are developing and knowing how to close games better and better as such a young core. We would play 3 or 4 rookies in the fourth quarter and still beat the Clippers and Kawhi. I'm telling you, we're fast tracking. We're AP class in the NBA. Other teams may be rebuilding and they're remedial reading, but no, we're AP. We're the egghead kids. We're the Krellborns, and we're learning quicker than everybody else. What I'm saying, that's just the difference right here. So rebuild on your schedule. Well, maybe the car we drive in a rebuild is faster, and we get through the rebuild stage faster because we have a capable front office that doesn't miss on their decisions. And we also have a whole glut of young players that are hungry and itching to get better and better, and they know the drill, and they're doing it the right way. So that's a part of it right there. It's part of it all right there. That's how quickly we can turn things around because we're doing it the right way. That's right. I'm not just saying, yeah, I should have added Luka and Giannis to the international all-star caliber players. Just forgot. Yeah, well, I'm sure there's other guys we're forgetting right now too that would actually be borderline possible all-stars. You know, Celtics Nation, if you really want Porzingis to be a all-star, he's going to be on the international team. He's not an all-star, though. He's not. No, he isn't. Cody's here. Good to see Cody Willis in the chat. Good to see you, man. We don't have to worry about winning too much. Culture over a lottery. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. We want to have winning culture, and lottery culture is not winning culture. And once again, I'll say the bonus of the Raptors is we've got Masai and Bobby who are draft geniuses, and it doesn't matter what pick they pick in the draft, they're going to get gold. And they proved it last year with the 5 out of 5 excellence of their people they brought into our team as rookies last year. All different aspects. The first rounder, the 3 second rounders, and the unsigned guy. Yeah, they were all hits. He hit on all 5 of the decisions. Jameson, Ulrich, Jonathan, Jamal, Jacoby. He hit on all of them. And that's why I don't understand why people get all worried and upset. Grady Dick was a steal at 13 too, the year before. So why can't we just trust in our front office? We can't trust where the ping balls are going to land exactly because that's a randomized thing. But we can trust the front office will make the decision and whatever we get to the best ability for what they want to do with our team. And I just don't understand why people won't figure this out. Winning culture is important with the team and the coaches. Whether they do any kind of manipulation about us losing at the GM level, well, that's different. That's different. But I don't want them to. And in some ways, Masai says winning so much. You think he's got that kind of attitude that he wants to see us lose on purpose just to try and get a draft pick? No. In some ways, I feel like these guys are confident in their skills that it doesn't matter where they draft and they can't control the ping pong balls. We're going to be fine. We're going to be fine either way. Blackhawks saying fans are unrealistic. Front offices cannot tell you every move they're making because they have to compete with other front offices. Exactly. It'd be a bad front office if they're telling everybody that stuff. There has to be internal conversations versus public relations. Yeah, Bobby knows exactly that line, and he walks it really well. In fact, some of the stuff he tells us, he probably didn't have to. And he's being actually very giving with some of the information and what he's saying. He could be very tight-lipped and not say anything, but he's very diplomatic and open. And if not a little bit obtuse, because he can't be giving specifics. So I don't understand why people don't understand that that's part of, being smart as a front office is secrecy and what you're doing. You don't want to tell everybody what you're doing exactly, right? Right. They may have thought about and projected this Brandon Ingram thing happening like a couple years ago or something like that. Or maybe they had a loose, rough sketch of an idea. And they're like, well, this is why we stay flexible, so we can pounce when something like Ingram's opportunity comes up. And that's what they do. They keep flexibility in what they can move with their salary cap and their the stuff that they have that's kind of hang around, that's still open-ended and not totally fulfilled. Well, boom, that gives you a leeway to be able to make an acquiring of Brandon Ingram. And that's just very good management, honestly, to have flexibility to allow for a player of that caliber to come in like this. And what did they lose for him? Seriously, what did they lose for Brandon Ingram, a player we've been trying to trade for a year, a player that is an honored Canadian legend that we love, that just happened to be part of the matching up with the money, and then a couple of draft picks for an all-star, a former most improved player, a top player in this league. I say he's a top 30 player in this league, honestly. I think that Brandon Ingram's a top 30 player. Mischief saying at Nako, I like Kasparis more earlier on than Trey, but Kasparis' shooting is really dipped down and he turns the ball over too much. I'd rather have Johnson, averages more points than the top three players. From what I remember, Kasparis is shorter than Trey Johnson, right? And he's more point guard. This guy's more of a wing. And I'm telling you right now, I really love Shed. And I feel like Emmanuel and Shed are going to be locking down that position for us. But it is good to have a third point guard prospect coming up in the system, maybe even to run 905 next year. So we'll have to see. If I had to choose between them, I'm going to go with Mischief with Trey Johnson from what I've seen. Yeah. Randolph saying, Lex, the Brandon move has replaced that thing we lost in the OG Siakam trade. Barnes needs time to establish himself where the media won't be able to doubt him. Yeah, but once again, we got to realize these guys are all different flavors of ice cream. Scotty is not going to be a top scorer for this team. He is not going to do it. He's the glue guy. He's the leader. He's going to be a defensive leader. He's going to be a passing leader. He's going to be, I'm going to do whatever it takes to help my team win kind of leader. And that's not necessarily him scoring 40 or 50 points like Brandon or RJ will. And that's why people have got to temper their expectations for the players specifically and individually. Because honestly, every given night, it may be a different Raptor stepping up. And I used to try and say this even during the Division 6-9 period, with so many different players kind of ambiguously being able to step up, like Scotty or Pascal or OG or Fred, Norman, whatever. I used to say, well, what does it matter if we don't have an exact person every single night that's stepping up? Maybe they're taking turns and different people are getting the chain at the end of the night. I mean, that's strength in diversity as far as diversity in choices of who can take over the game on any given night, because their skill set may actually really work against a specific team and what that team's doing. And all of a sudden they can have a field day, but they may not be the next game the best person to play because that team has a different scheme and they are better at defending that person. So RJ takes over and does it that game. I think that having flexibility and versatility, not only for the front office and making moves, but also on the roster with the players and who's playing what, is very good strength to have. And depth and abundance of talent, who's complaining about that? Seriously, why are you complaining about that? Having more talent and too much talent has never been a problem for any professional sports team. That's seriously not a problem. And people that complain about that, that's ridiculous to me. You're complaining that we have too much talent now because Brandon's here? That don't make no sense to me. And you just told me that you're not really a fan of the Raptors if you don't want so much talent on their team, is what I'm saying. That's right. Let's see. Blackhawks front offices cannot make moves with blinders on. They have to make multiple moves for the welfare of the organization. Do not be short-sighted when criticizing front offices. Some of them don't know what they're doing. I'm pretty sure Dallas doesn't know what they're doing. They've fumbled so many different ways. There's a new stunted growth out this week on Luka Doncic trade and how it's such a miserable fail, one of the worst trades in the league history that the Dallas Mavericks pulled off. And it really is critical of Dallas and just how stupid they were in making this deal. And, man, it really elaborates all the points of, this is really poor GMing. Really, really poor GMing. And, man, they're idiots, man. They really are. Mavericks are idiots. Nico Harrison should be fired. He should be. But that was part of the plan with the whole scheme of things. G saying they rebuilt and retooled in 1 year. There is no exact science to these things. Following a whiz rebuild is not the answer. Yeah, no, we don't want to. That's why, this is okay. This is the whole thing. The people that hate the Raptors love seeing us blow up the core with Siakam and Fred and Anunoby because they just assumed that we'd be like the Wizards or the Hornets and we go off into revel events for a long time and be flailing and rebuilding and not getting anywhere. They get a little bit like the Pistons up until recently, just kind of not getting anywhere. Well, that's not what we're doing. We're not trying to waste time, and we're capable and we're smart and we are a good organization, and it doesn't take long for us to bounce back. I think that's part of the problem. Our haters were hoping they'd get longer time where we weren't a threat, and they're really mad because getting Brandon Ingram shows we're going to be a threat again. And then the people that are kind of Raptors fans don't get the clue. And they just figure, oh, we're rebuilding. We need to be a rebuilding team for a certain period of time. No, there's no rules to this. There's no hard and fast rules like G's saying. There's no exact science. Every team is different, their own different things they have to deal with. The Raptors have their own set of negatives and positives. And in some ways, well, we're just like that. And our rebuild 1 year, half a year last year, half a year this year, well, so be it. That's how we wanted to do it. That's how we got it. And I'm perfectly fine with it. I'm so proud of what Masai and Bobby have done the last few years. I don't think they've been failing. I don't think they've lost it. I think they're top of their game, and it's shown in the bounce back from a supposed rebuild status to being possibly an Eastern Conference contender next year. And I don't know if you're a real Raptors fan, why you'd be upset with anything I just described right now. Seriously, why would you be upset about this? We don't want to languish and watch a losing team for too long, right, Raptors fans? We don't. Other people that hate the Raptors would love for us to languish and be a horrible team for like 5, 6 years, 10 years. Well, no, we're wasting our life like that? No, we're not. And that's the problem right there. That is the biggest issue right there. The haters wanted us to stay down and stay down for good. But no, we got back up. We got back right away. And now Brandon Ingram is a symbol of that. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Most saying W stream, W vibes. Go Raptors for life. She's right at my cutoff. I'm just about to finish up in 5 minutes. Raptors freak, family for life, strong forever. Just help me limit the comments. Yeah, I got a call this week. It's very interesting from MLSE. A woman called me and said, I'm from the Raptors and I'd like to talk to you. And I'm like, holy crap, what is this about? I wonder if they saw my channel. I wonder what they're asking. And well, it was because I went to the 905 game. They wanted to sell me more tickets to 905. But I'm new contact in the ticket office for the 905 and the Raptors. She sells tickets for both. And she's all about the Raptor Freak family. I told her about the channel. I told her about us and us doing our get-togethers. And she said she's going to help us with group rates. She's going to help us with suites. She's going to help us with tables at the end of the 905. She's going to help us with courtside seats at 905 and even get us discounts. So I have a new friend in MLSE ticket office who knows about the Raptor Freak family and really wants to accommodate good, passionate fans like us to go to a game on an affordable budget to 905 and to Raptors games. So in the year coming forward, we're going to get some more Raptor Freak hangouts at games because we have a new ticket hookup that's looking out for us now. Just so y'all know. I was a little disappointed that she was like, oh, yeah, I seen your channel. She didn't say that. I told her about the channel, though, so hopefully she checks it out. We'll see. Blackout saying with Brandon, we can absorb Scotty or RJ being injured and vice versa. The roster is deeper and the offense is increased. Defense will get better with the chemistry. Yeah, in some ways, this is totally the top teams in the league have had to deal with this. Chet's out for a while. Jaylen Brown's out for a while. Jason Tatum carries. SGA carries. Chet's out. This is a good thing to have. And in some ways, it's necessary in today's NBA with the abundance of injuries and people missing games at this point. You need that depth of talent, a grade A number one talent to lead the team because you never know who you might be missing. Top key players are out all the time for NBA teams. And that's just the damn truth. That's right. Randolph's saying, yeah, Canada is catching up with the rest of the world. Federal government moving ahead with high-speed rail between Toronto and Quebec in the next 5 years. Much needed. That is awesome. That is so awesome. And yes, we need to continue to be progressive and smart and forward-thinking and not going back in time like the states down south right now. Nope, we got to continue our identity, national identity as being Canadians, and continue progressive ideals and governance, good things. That's right. That's right. Mo say, what's up, Mo? Blackhawk saying, what's up to Mo? I like to see that. Oh, crap. You guys added a whole bunch of stuff. We a clutch house? What? Okay. There's snow. Mitch was saying there's snow coming down. Trevor saying, Alvin Williams say you do not want to create a losing culture. Exactly. And I hope you tell that to Leo Routens. And what I'm saying. Blackhawk saying many of the Canadian players play in the American system, so they are Americanized to me. I know this is probably true, but in some ways I don't want to believe this completely. But it's probably true. The Canadians are probably just as susceptible to what I described about the American system with the AAU and stuff like that. But who knows? It could actually have to be with grassroots, who you individually deal with. RJ coming up with Steve Nash as a mentor. Who was SGA's guy that got him above and beyond? Is it just that he has that talent? That's what I'm saying. In some ways, it's also the American market has been mined for talent so heavily for so long because it's been aware of it. The Canadian market's a new burgeoning market. And there's a lot of unknown people like Zach Edey, Oliver Ryu, SGA that are going to be found in Canada because the sport grew and there's more people playing it. So in some ways, that may be part of the reason why we rise up and bump, is because this country has not really been totally like sought out and looked over for basketball talent as deeply as the Americans have for so long. Does that make sense what I'm saying right there? But yeah, it is true. Technically, the Canadian system is the American system. You're right. You're right. Basketball made in Canada. That's right. Most saying a lot of good is happening in my life. Enjoying my downtime, gearing up Raptors versus Miami game, Caribbean night, keeping busy. Got word yesterday I'm off to the We the World event with the Raptors. I'm happy. That's awesome, man. That's so good. I'm always happy to hear that Monique has got lots going on and that she's getting to do things that she loves. And this year has been fantastic. She's gotten to a new level, honestly. I can tell. And, I feel like a lot of this started with her birthday. We had such a beautiful, awesome birthday party. David Saborn was such a Saint David that day. It was just so amazing that day. And the group and the power, the outpouring of love for Mo on her birthday last year kind of set the tone for this entire season this year for her and her life. And it's so fantastic. I love it. I love seeing Mo get to higher and higher levels. I'm cheering her on at every step. That's right. Everything that she does, I am supportive and wanting to see and just encouraging her to keep going. That's what I'm saying right there. Randolph's saying, Lex, you don't have to worry about the losing mentality of fans or media personalities. The team is playing winning basketball and developing our players. Ignore the noise. Yeah. I just wish they'd get on the same page with us. That's all. You're exactly right. In some ways, what these fans say and stuff, it doesn't matter. Y'all don't matter. It doesn't matter what you have to say. The Rock would say to you, it doesn't matter. It's like, what are you saying, Jabroni? It doesn't matter what you have to say. I should be acting like that because they have no real power. The power is all within the front office, the coach, and the players. And the players bought in and they're on the right page and they're not listening to the noise. And maybe they're keeping track of the Tank Nation stankies. And maybe they're taking track of the positive fans that are rooting for them for all the best things. Be like, yeah, Raptor Streak, they got it. But why did they not got it over there? What's wrong with them? What's wrong with them? Why are they not getting it? Why are they not getting it? What's wrong here? Yeah. Blackhawk said, way to go, Mo. You're sounding busy. You're not letting our foul weather keep you down. Well, she's on a break like we all are, kind of like the All-Star game. And, it's been such a fast and furious season. The games have been coming really quick. And, man, it's a real like Guitar Hero, Dance Dance Revolution thing for me to catch all the beats correctly, doing the stream every single day. And it's weird doing an off-season schedule right now for a couple days, Tuesday, Wow Wednesday, and tomorrow will be a Thursday think tank, and I will have the phone on so you guys can call in and be on the air and hear your voice over the phone. But tomorrow we'll do a call-in show. So I hope you'll tune in tomorrow. We'll talk opinions on the rest of the season and what we expect and what we're hoping for with the Raptors and general, conversation call-in show on the Freak Channel tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. I hope you'll join me and call me on the show. Yeah, I might open it up to anybody to call tomorrow. We'll see. I don't know if I want to share my number with everybody, but I will definitely be sharing it to the bona fide members of the channel and the Facebook chat too already. So yeah, let's keep going. Fiercey's happy for Mo. Take it all in and enjoy the journey. That's right. What is this life is to live and to make the best of it. And Mo has a passion for the Raptors, and she just revels in it and has the best things happening all the time. I love it so much. As a really diehard Raptors fan, seeing somebody who's such a diehard Raptors fan like me having such joy and happiness makes me happy. It really, really does. Because her and I have the same passion for this team. We really, really do. And we won't only want the best things for our team. We only do. That's what we want. That's right. If it's not the best thing for the Raptors, well, we are not for it. And that's one thing that we will stand on together, Monique Lawrence and I. That's right. That's right. Trevor's saying first game back the All-Star break is tonight. Charlotte and the Lakers tonight. Awkward. That's right. Dalton Connect. That's the team you were almost on. And hey, Mark Williams, you gonna play tonight for the Hornets against the Lakers? He is actually. I saw that little news article coming in that Mark Williams is cleared to play and will be playing tonight in the game. That's right. Also, a warning for you guys that are in the fantasy league. If you are in the Raptor Freak Fantasy League, set your lineups because the games are starting again tonight with this game tonight. So you may have a Laker or a Hornet you may need to play tonight to get your points for your fantasy team. So, yeah, just a little warning there. Trevor's got my classic card Q. And thank you to Neil and Fiercey. And thank you to Mo. Thank you to Neil. Thank you to Fiercey. Let's see. Nako saying, pretty sure we've seen Trey Johnson. I think you're probably right. But I think I said the same thing before. Randolph saying, Lex, they said Edwards is the U.S. face who's comparing himself with MJ. What is this trade RJ for Ja in the offseason talk? I don't know who's saying that. I haven't heard that one. I wouldn't do it. Why would we get Ja Morant for RJ Barrett? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense at all. That deal doesn't make any sense to me. Let's see. They say Edwards is the face, the U.S. face. Yeah, they want him to be. They set him up to be. He's in that movie, Bo Cruz. He's been on Team USA. He was a star of Team USA last year. But the problem is that Anthony Edwards keeps shooting his mouth off in little social media clips and using slurs against gay people and saying all kinds of dumb stuff. He's not the most polished NBA face of the league in some ways. He has issues. And that's the problem. They're frustrated with some of these guys because they're not getting a clean-cut kind of Magic Johnson kind of type player. Well, there is a guy like that, but he plays for Toronto, and he is American. And, you know, you could make him the face of the league, but you won't because he plays for the Canadian team. And that's your own damn fault. The moneymaker is Scotty Barnes. You could make him the face of the league, and he's American, but he plays for the Canadian team. Y'all won't. Y'all won't. That's right. Blackhawk saying, outside of Bailey, I would pick Newell, Asa Newell, Queen, Essence, Demon, Sorber, Fleming, and Wolf. Go big or go home. That's right. We want a big. We want a big in the draft. Anything less is not what I want. That's right. Have you watched any Boyles? Yeah, I think we did watch Boyles for a second there. I think we did. Yeah, Brandon Ingram's awesome, guys, and he's fitting in with our team really, really well already. In some ways, these guys have taken to him, and he's taken to them. And the camaraderie is already building without him even being on the court. The chemistry is already good. So I love it. It's so awesome. And Brandon, we're looking forward to more and more stuff from you, BI3. We're looking forward to you joining the team and doing what you're going to do. That's right. That's so awesome. Let's see. I talked about all that stuff. Oh, Kyrie is saying, oh, this is interesting. There's an article right here saying Kyrie Irving has announced that he wants to play for Australia at the LA Olympics. There you go. He was born in Australia. He's represented Team USA in the past, but this is very interesting that Kyrie has come out today and said he would like to represent Australia in the next Olympic cycle. I'm sure Australia will say no, and you could probably get that. And that would be very good because Australia's team's very good already. Maybe you heard Stephen A. Smith, and he's like, okay, well, maybe I will embrace my foreign-born roots of being born in Australia. I love this. Kyrie, go play for Australia. It makes sense. Now, maybe Joel Embiid will figure out which country he should actually be playing for after that. All right, let's see. What else do I got? I already did that. There is a birthday today. Happy birthday to DJ Wilson, former Raptor DJ Wilson. Y'all remember DJ. He was on our team just a couple years ago. Yeah, DJ is turning 28 today. So happy, or 26, 29 today. Happy 29th birthday, DJ Wilson. Yeah, he's 29 today, guys. All right, let's do the classic card right now, guys. Let me get the card out. And we're going to go a little bit over 2 hours, and that's fine. That's fine. Who's that? Which card do I want? Let's go this one. This one's more interesting. All right, guys. Classic card of the day. First person to write the full name answer. Full name answer. I hope y'all had fun doing trivia yesterday. It was awesome. Fiercey jumped back up into third place from her strong play yesterday. Back into third place on the Raptor trivia standings, jumping over Andrew from getting 900 points yesterday. But yeah, here are some more points right here. Who's going to get this one? This one's easy. Who knows who this classic card is right here? This is very, very easy. If you don't get this right away, I'm going to be shocked. You guys are going to get your classic card expertise revoked. If you cannot tell me who this player is, you want it up closer. Do you need it up closer? You don't really need it up closer, do you? We should all know who this guy is. Seriously. If you don't, yeah, maybe you know him more from college. I don't know. You might know him from college. Maybe you know him from his nickname. His nickname's pretty cool. I like his nickname. There you go. So, of course, Smooth's going to get it. That's Stacey Ogman. Of course, Plastic Man. Stacey Ogman was UNLV with Larry Johnson. And on that great running Rebels team led by Jerry Tarkanian. And then, of course, parlayed it into a great NBA career playing with the Hawks and a bunch of other teams. And he was a dunk kind of guy. He was more of a showy kind of dunky kind of guy, but he did have some defensive chops also. So, yeah, Smooth, you're going to get it. Stacey Augmon, 100 points for you on the classic card. He's looking kind of like Ross. If you could go a little further away, all these great dunkers kind of look the same. He looks a little bit like Terrence Ross from far away. Just a little bit like Terrence Ross. All right, let's see. Stacey Augmon is a card. Smooth's going to get 100 points. There we go. Stacey Augmon. Smooth Brown Man winning it again today. 100 points on the Stacey Augmon card. It's a pretty easy card, honestly. That's it, y'all. Check out the latest episode of the Kensington Variety VIP Club on the Raptor Freak family group and also in the community tab. I hang out with my friend Anthony, who's an artist. If you go to Kensington Market, you ever see any really, really weird black and white art on the wall that looks satanic and weird, like devils and stuff like that, that's my friend Anthony, who's always making really crazy dark art around Kensington Market. Well, you can see him on the episode with me today playing hockey at the convenience store with some rolling paper and dimes. I don't know what's going on there. Well, yeah, check out the KVVP VIP shows. They kind of commemorate and talk about when the pandemic struck 5 years ago. And it's all a time capsule. You can kind of get back to where we were 5 years ago and see what was going on and what I was talking about. It's very, very interesting. All right, let's get out of here, guys. Thank you for watching the Raptor Freak stream today. Brandon Ingram's going to be a great addition to the Raptors in all kinds of ways. He's great for the vibes. He's great for talent level. He's great for scoring. He's going to be great for defense also. And he's going to be great at helping us win more and more. And that's the whole point of playing, isn't it? To try and win. I think that some people miss that memo this year, that when you play in competitive sports, you're trying to win. If your team's not that good and you don't win that much, well, that's just how it is. But you're always striving to not be that and trying to win more and more. And that's the way you look at it. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Kyrie, Giddey, Ingles, Patty Mills, solid team. Yeah. You're not even putting in Dyson Daniels. There's quite a few Australian players on the down low that are in the NBA. They have some of the most NBA players out of all the international teams. Like Canada, they can field an all NBA international team at this point, Australia. So they'll be pretty good. Yeah. Let's see. Fiercely saying Ant-Man also has multiple baby mama issues. Face of the league will ideally be someone stable, married, in a relationship with kids to perpetuate the good image like LeBron and Magic. I don't think they worry about that so much. I think they worry about the criminality stuff like John Morant. They worry about, really putting your foot in your mouth and making like non-PC comments public where it's embarrassing to the league. And that's the biggest thing with Ant, is that he's said or done some things that are absolutely childish and not good to be the face of the league. And that's why in some ways he's messing himself up for that job, because in some ways he's not being responsible with his public image. And that's it. I think that the stuff about his relationships and baby's mamas, that should never matter in this situation. And people may make that a part of the reason why, but I don't think it should in this. It's really more the public perception of what he's putting out there. And if he's putting out really weird content where he's making fun of a gay person on the street, he's going to put his foot in his mouth. They don't want to saddle him with that responsibility of being the face of the league then. So it's really you got to be in some ways you're either that or you're not. You can't naturally just be it. In some ways, yeah, he looks like Jordan sometimes, some ways on the court, and the way you just wish you could recapture that. But in some ways, it's got to be natural. Once again, the NBA is trying to script write everything, and they're forcing things that aren't natural. And they should just let the competition naturally occur and let the way the things happen, the chips fall as they may. And trying to force the narrative and write the stories themselves, it seems so fake. And it's part of the reason why this league has gone downhill in product quality in the last 10 years. Because you guys have been too manipulative with the storylines around LeBron, the Golden State Warriors, and all kinds of other things that you're trying to control. And, well, Dominique Wilkins said you guys had to control David Robinson win the scoring title over Shaq years ago. Yeah, I believe that y'all try and over-control everything through the refs, the scheduling, and all kinds of stuff. And that's why I totally believe you're holding down the Raptors on purpose. But we're going to rise up and beat all that in the end anyway, because we're like that. Yeah, we're like that. We're going to do it. That's right. Fiercely saying they need to inspire the next positive generation in a good and positive influence. And Ant-Man comment on the baby mamas is allegedly, I don't know what the rest she's going to say there. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching me today. I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for watching Wow Wednesday. Y'all, get your phones ready for tomorrow. And I hope y'all are itching to call me, and let's make a two-way street. And honestly, I want to do more listening than talking tomorrow. I'd rather just let you guys talk and say what you want to say, and I'll just go, yeah, yeah. And you guys can have the whole show tomorrow because I want it to be the Thursday think tank and what y'all think. So we'll come back tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Thursday morning, and we'll do the Thursday think tank, talking about the second half of the season after the All-Star break is over, starting up with Miami on Friday night. That's right. Let's go. Yeah, I for once I'll be silent. I can be silent. I'm very good in stillness and silent. It's just this is go time. And I'd be wasting your time if I just sat here silently, right? You guys want to hear me talk. But no, I will be silent. I'll be silent because I want you guys to have more time to talk and espouse on things. And I don't mind just standing here and having you guys talk and listening and maybe doing little reactions like, oh, or what? Okay. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching me. Let's go, Raptors. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, or join the channel if you want to. Membership can have its privileges. And then call in the show tomorrow is one of them. All right, y'all. Let's go, Raptors. Raptors 905. Toronto Tempo. Team Canada basketball. Yeah, baby. Let's go. Trust in Masai, y'all. Don't mess around. Just trust in Masai. He knows what he's doing. And Bobby's going to make the deals done. It's going to be good.